Hello.
May I frighten you briefly?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. What is that? Dear Lord. Is that... Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah. Well, he's just gonna hang out here, if that's cool.
Yeah! That's rad! Where did that come from?
No, like, you just walked...
The Black Lagoon! Thank you.
Is the Black Lagoon a swamp or not a swamp?
It's a lagoon!
Third base.
That is so nifty!
Please welcome to the stage Ken Steacy.
Hello!
And my friend. I brought a friend this year.
I don't think we've met.
Hi.
I'm Jacob. I can't.
Hi, Jake. Oh, I was going to say fist bump.
There we
Elbow
go.
bump.
Boom.
Better.
Pleasure to meet you.
Much more sanitary. Elbow
Yes.
bumps. Yes.
Nice shirt.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gee, Ken,
It could be yours. Gee, Alex.
last year you said you were not going to come back to Desert Bus.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is true. But do you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Commando? When he says, "Hey, Sully, remember I told you I would kill you last?" You
Yeah,
man.
man,
Yeah,
you said you were gonna kill me last.
I lied. Well, you know, it's like, I just kind of, I did say my last-ish, I think. I put ish on the end of that.
Yeah. So you
kind
were
of-
here-ish.
I'm here-ish,
Yeah.
exactly. As a matter of fact, I am here-ish, because usually I come in with like
This is gonna hang
30
out. Is it gonna get trampled?
37,000, put on the couch. Or maybe climbing over the couch. There we go.
There are
Oh, perfect.
lights back there. Just be careful.
I love it, I love it.
Yeah.
Good, it's now backlit.
Hey Ken, I'm just gonna get you to double check your mic pack on your waist there, and let me know if you got a green light or an orange light.
I'll discreetly
I should turn mine
pull up
on
my
too.
shirt here.
There's an orange light on
All
there.
right, hit that button on top.
Which
And now the
Oh, now
world
you can hear me.
you.
Hello, hello. I see. We're getting the
Yeah.
thumbs up. Yes, all systems are go.
Yep.
How
good.
could I stay away? This is the best thing I do, and I'm so pleased and honored that you would
I'm right here.
have me back. Well, yes. Well, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I have dialed it back a bit this year. We were doing one.
I can't believe I just made this connection. Is this your father?
Just a minute. Nurse, can we get a blood test, please? What is the DNA
Correct.
is like?
Yes.
Good. I'm on bus brain time.
I was just
okay.
gonna say it's understandable.
Dear Lord.
It'd
That's
be
all
weirder
good.
if I said no.
Yes, yeah, that would be very weird for me, especially because
And
all these years you've been lying to me.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I apologize.
Watch it. I have pictures. I will send pictures.
I've seen them.
Oh,
Has chat.
no. See, that's the
know.
point. Chad hasn't.
I don't know.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all. It's nice to be back. Hello, Ken, a Father Steacy. Actually, the only reason I came here is because my favorite nickname is Ken. More nicknames than Matt Steacy. And I want to, I want to build on that. I want to build my brand. See, already we're like Ken 50% of parentage Steacy,
Yeah. There-
and I'm your father Steacy.
Just for
I'm just going to
context
sit here and
for-
read off my nicknames. Sorry.
I'm just going to give context to Jacob here. Ken Steacy has been coming and visiting Desert Bus for a very long time and is one of our most generous benefactors.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, Chet is very fond of giving him nicknames.
Neat.
So there's a whole lot of Ken infinite nickname Stacy, Ken former value Stacy.
Ken, I miss Vine, Stacy.
Yeah.
Ken, what is Vine
There's a list
Steacy?
of like thousands of them that the chat has somewhere.
See, because already I'm
And
up to
they'll add
another. I got another.
whatever gets added this year to that list.
Yes.
Neat.
Maybe for the people who might be new in chat, who might not know who Ken Stacy is,
Yeah.
why don't we just give them a quick artist bio for Ken?
Yeah,
I got a better
who-
idea.
who
Why
is-
don't we
who is
do
this?
like Q&A, and then we can do kind of a sort of, like, is he bigger than the bread box? Is he smaller than the house?
do you draw?
Is he...
Do you draw? Do you draw?
I draw.
Okay. What kind of, do you draw comics?
I draw comics. I draw comics for every publisher but one. Who would that be?
I know this one.
I know this one.
I know
Oh,
this
well,
one.
I was thought maybe somebody in the
Maybe
chat
someone
might know, but okay, go right ahead.
Archie.
Yes, it's true. But I've been given a wonderful opportunity, and I will talk about that a little bit later, to actually draw Archie. Well, not officially, but next best thing.
I thought it was gonna be like something really dumb, like Archie versus Game of Thrones, or
Better. Oh, much better.
Archie versus Predator?
Well, come on, don't be silly.
Archie versus Batman.
Punisher. No, they did that already.
Okay.
I've been writing and drawing comics for about 40 plus years. And Joan, mother of Alex, who is also a fabulous author, illustrator, and graphic novelist, and I are the co-creators of the Comics and Graphic Novels program at Camosun College here in Victoria, the only contiguous program of its kind in the post-secondary Canadian school system. So if you're interested in that, if you go to my little bio thing, there's a link so you can find out about that. And while we're at it, a big shout out to our students, our current cohort, who are fabulous, and you'll be able to see their work at the Camosun Comics Art Festival coming up in April.
Oh, geez.
And for those of you who are watching, your pencils are due on Wednesday. Right. And other than that, gosh, Rudy, what else do I do? I build scale model kits.
Professionally?
No, I wish. That'd be a great job, wouldn't it? Okay, well, awkward silence. Let's.
I mean, you're kind of a big deal. We can leave it at that.
No.
But you've drawn comics you've done Marvel, you've
Yes,
done DC.
yes.
You have a new one that you did fairly recently.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
Yes.
With a famous Canadian author who
might
most people would know is award-winning author Margaret Atwood.
See, I don't have to do anything. I could just sort of sit here and like eat chips and stuff. Have we got any chips? No. Okay. Oh, no food in here. Right, I forgot.
No food.
Yes, that was actually. I'll be talking about that a little later on because, in fact, one of the lots has something to do with war bears. Mm-hmm. So yes, read your syllabus. Exactly. That's right.
War Bears is you?
War
That's
Bears
amazing.
is me. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Warbers.
Friends with fancy authors. That's right. Ken Group of Seven, Stacy. I wish.
Wait, what?
I actually had an opportunity to go sketching with A.J. Casson many years ago. He was a friend of a friend, and like a dope, I said, "Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of busy this weekend." And then he
How
died.
does one go sketching?
What?
You go to a place and sit and sketch?
Have you
You
ever
do.
been to like a drink and draw?
Yes.
Oh, we gotta fix
We
that.
could do one here.
I
No.
don't.
No, we can't drink
No, we
alcohol
can't drink.
here.
Draw.
No, you don't have to drink alcohol. I mean, it's just
But
a
you
drink.
drink.
You can just drink, yes.
We need coffee.
I do drink, yes. I've
And
told
you can-
several stories about the outcome of that.
And you can grip a pen while drinking, and you can manipulate it.
Wait a
around
minute, wait a minute.
napkin.
Something's wrong here.
What's that?
Why is the driver not over there above the bus which is being driven? And why is my hand moving the opposite direction that I'm I do this every year. It's like, this is super confusing.
We
hate change.
We decided after 13 years we needed to make some changes.
Okay. So Kathleen isn't actually driving. All right. Well, now I'm totally confused. Where would you like me to sit?
Right here. On
Right
We'll have
here.
to move your
Okay.
stuff, but-
All right.
Heck.
Heck.
Oh, darkness. There we go.
What was that?
Imprisoning me. All that I see.
We were
Absolute
just
horror.
briefly sent to the X zone.
Oh.
All right.
What did we do? Here. Why don't I move over here because I will need to look at that monitor, and that way you can see my friend Gilman.
Gilman.
Gil. All right. Wait a minute.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Kathleen.
How did you do that? That was amazing.
Can I tell you about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Those are so her mannerisms.
I have nailed it. This impression is spot on.
Wow, I'm impressed.
No, that's terrible.
Okay. All right. So, where to begin? Something's happening at 6 o'clock, apparently.
What?
That's just our shift change.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll go from Alpha Flight to Night Watch.
Wait a minute. Alpha Flight, the Canadian superheroes, are they here?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
Ken,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which one? Which one?
You've
are
drawn
you
me
again?
so many
It's
times.
true. It's true. Well, I'm just going to sit here and read my new nicknames. No, no.
Why don't we get? So you have some
have
old
some-
business to take
I
care
do.
of.
I do. Actually, before I do that, I brought some slides in.
Yes.
Engineering will probably need a few minutes to set.
No,
oh, no, they're good to go. All right.
engineering is so
Yeah.
on top of it. Engineering is crushing it.
Yeah, do you
In
want
fact, I'm gonna go hang out with them. Is that? No. Okay.
I mean, if you don't want to do the slides, yeah, but if we're going to do the slides, we should probably keep you out here.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, if engineering's ready for that.
Oh, excuse me. Someone says that you would probably be Puck
Yeah, I'll take
if
it.
you were an Alpha Puck.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm into it.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Hey, look at
Oh,
that.
okay.
Wait, hang on.
Yes. Okay, so people were wondering, like, what happened to Ken, and see, I gotta get it right. So I don't know who sent me this, but so these are actual magazine covers which have been slightly modified because there are all these men's magazines and things, and I just love this, like, world without Ken. They had forgotten what Ken looked like, and so I had to come back. But you see what was going on. It's like me and Joan were fighting off these rabid lizards and
It's
things.
always lizards or something.
It's always
in a
or
swamp.
weasels. Weasels rip my flesh and
rats.
things like that.
Yeah.
And then there was Ken Steacy, the man who found cybernetic monsters and turned them into hood ornaments. That was a pet obsession of mine at one point, was car parts. So if anybody's missing a hood ornament, it wasn't me. I promise. So can we get a preview of the next slide just so I know what, or is it just going to go up?
I think it's just
No, I
going to
can't
go
go.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
What?
So the question was like, why am I here? When I
Sorry,
was,
you brought memes?
well, yes, because this is my absolute favorite. Because when the question is asked, like, why are you here? It's like, oh well, I ask myself this question all the time. There's something very zen about this. And the first time I saw this, I actually changed it a bit so it didn't have the rude word in there. But I wake up many mornings thinking very much like this. Why am I in the water and what the hell is that? I was going to try to describe this. I thought, no, there's no way I can say an orangutan in a life jacket, and there's a tapir, which, as we all know, is a sort of a pig-like creature with a prehensile nose.
Yes, we all know that.
We all, yeah, exactly. So I just thought, if you ever think you're having a bad day, just pull this meme up and you'll go, oh, okay, well, it could be worse. Like, there could be a tapir in the pool with me.
I can actually answer the first portion of that question for you.
Which was?
If you're waking up first thing in the morning and you're asking yourself, why am I in the water? The answer is your waterbed has sprung a leak.
We
Beach knows all
did you ever
about
have a
that.
waterbed?
No.
Because he's not a murderer.
We did. We did.
I've experienced...
Long before Alex.
I've experienced a waterbed.
The waterbed had nothing to do
I've
with
never
Alex.
owned a waterbed.
Oh, sorry.
You are Alex's dad, all right.
Sure is.
Ken knows what a tapir is. Okay, that's it. That's the best one yet.
I always thought it was pronounced tapir, but I've only ever read it.
Who
I've never
knows?
heard it in
Who
real life.
knows? Who knows? So what were we talking about? Waterbeds. Yeah, waterbeds are really creepy because you got to put bleach in them to keep all the life forms from propagating.
Sure, makes sense.
And then when you decide to get rid of your waterbed, the only way you can do it is like put a hose in it and siphon the water out the window, which we did. And we got most of the water out, but then there was still some left, so we kind of dragged it to the window and pushed it out. It was like a giant amoeba, like slithering out the window, and then it landed on the balcony on the second floor. And then we realized that there was this black car was sitting parked right beneath the balcony, and we had poured bleach all over the car.
Oh, no.
So we very quickly dragged the skeletal remains of the waterbed, this amoeba, away.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone. This was like 40 years ago.
This
so.
is a great Shaggy Dog story.
Just before we go to the next slide, I want to answer a question I've seen pop up in chat a few times. We haven't forgotten about the art challenge. We're just having a lot going on here in the lunar module because dinner has arrived. Ken Steacy has arrived.
Dinner?
So a couple of folks are off stage getting food and judging that, and we will get back to you shortly. But we want to keep that spotlight right here.
Where it belongs. All right. Okay, so speaking of memes,
Oh boy.
so
Wow.
this started happening, and of course, I was actually delighted by the whole "okay, boomer" thing. So every single generation thinks
fun.
their parents are total squares, and that they're
Okay,
responsible
square.
for everything. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cube. We actually used to do that. We go to, oh, what a square.
Yeah, I saw it in Pulp Fiction.
It was? I didn't
Yes.
know that. Well, anyway.
Yeah, they
so,
do.
so,
Uma Thurman literally draws a white square in the
okay.
air. It's weird.
Because I just wanted to take it back, and all I could think of was like, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer and I'm okay. Should we sing that song?
Nope.
No.
We're a little tight on time.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna change focus a little and get a little serious for a change.
For sure.
So today is Remembrance Day,
Yep.
and it's always a tough day because I come from a military family. My grandfather. This is a picture of my grandfather, the Reverend Colonel Steacy, who was the senior chaplain in the Canadian Expeditionary Forces in World War I. My dad was an officer in and a jet fighter pilot in the Royal Canadian Air Force. And of course, so a deep and abiding respect for the military has always been part of our lives. In some ways, I suppose it saddens me that we need a day to remind people of the sacrifices that were made by mostly young people so that we could be here and doing what we're doing. But I suppose, better light a single candle than to curse the darkness. So I just want to talk a little bit about that and about my history and Alex's as well. So again, this is my grandfather, Alex's great-grandfather. Next. This is his field communion set, which was donated to. He was graduated from Trinity College in the University of Toronto, and all his artifacts and correspondence were donated to their archives. And I went to see them a couple of years ago, and it was quite remarkable because in the Fawns they had all this correspondence between my grandfather and my mother. And they married fairly late. I think they were, in their late 30s, early 40s. But the correspondence was just so delightful and heartwarming. It was like two, young lovers just, opening their hearts to one another. It was beautiful. But this is what got me, was this field communion kit, because from what I understand, my grandfather, he was more over there to boost morale and to go to garden parties and things in London, but he spent most of his time in the field in France and ministering to soldiers. And I imagined how many young men, and it was for the most part men at that point in combat, took their last communion from this very chalice. And I did. At one point, I put it to my lips, and it was a very deeply moving and powerful moment to imagine that connection with all those who had gone before. Next. So this is an Ottawa newspaper from November 10th, 1942. The gentleman on the upper row, second from the left, is my father and Alex's grandfather.
I can totally see it.
And
Just the lines of his face, I remember.
So he's 17 years old there, and he is about to join up to fight the good fight for King and country. And I've often wondered about these other guys and like what happened to them. Did they join? Did they serve? Did they survive? Did they come back? Happily, Dad did survive. Next. This is his proudest moment of having his wings pinned on him by his older brother, who is also in the RCF. That's my Uncle Dick. And our Uncle John, who I don't have a picture of, served in the army all the way from 38 to 45. He came all the way up from Africa through Italy and up all the way into Holland. Next. And these are, on my mom's side, these are my two uncles, Clifford and Hubert, or rather Hubert and Clifford. They were both tail gunners in Wellingtons, which was a medium twin-engine bomber. Clifford, he was involved in the first 1,000-plane raid in 1941. His aircraft crashed with the loss of the entire crew. Next. And there they are, about to go off on I imagine this ill-fated mission. His brother survived the war, but they were attacked. They were bounced by night fighters somewhere over Fortress Europe. They were very badly shot up. He was hit in every part of his body but his head, and they didn't think he'd survive. He actually had the most units of blood transfused to any Commonwealth personnel and survived. And he ended up becoming an air traffic controller in Vancouver, and sadly died of lung cancer because he was a very heavy smoker. So the Nazis couldn't kill him, but J.R. Reynolds did. So a little bit of irony there. Next. So here's Dad post-war. He decided after he got out of the service in 45, got back in 48, decided all he wanted to do was punch holes in the clouds. So here he is with a Mustang, which was his absolute favorite aircraft. Next. And then he transitioned to jet aircraft, Sabres, which was the most dangerous occupation in the world. Nobody knew a thing about them, and so all young pilots were essentially test pilots. So they weren't paid as test pilots. They just did it because that was their job. They were
You get extra pay for being a test pilot?
You would if you were a civilian. You got paid a lot of money. But these guys were just like, hey, it's a job.
Huh.
Next. And that's my favorite hero shot of Dad. That's under the tail of Voodoo, which is a large interceptor that he flew during the Cold War. Next. So this is him on the cover of the Star Weekly magazine in June of 1962 when he took delivery of our first Voodoos. Their mission, and I'm astonished to hear myself say this because it just seems so unreal. Those aircraft were armed with 2 nuclear-tipped missiles, and the doctrine was that the Soviets were going to attack us by coming over the North Pole in waves of bombers, and Dad and his comrades would fly up and swat them out of the sky with nuclear weapons.
I saw it was either a model or like a decommissioned one of those in the Atomic Testing Museum in Nevada, which is a weird little tie-in with all this.
Yeah. So it's funny because, I grew up believing that doctrine. I believed that we were kept safe and out of harm's way because Dad and those guys were there to protect us. So years later when I went to art college and I would tell people these stories, they would look at me like I was nuts. Like, your gut, he was what? So it's a very, very strange world that I grew up in. And I've reflected on that a great deal. Next. So this is Dad. During the Cold War, during the Cuban Missile Crisis in October of '63, when the world came that close to nuclear holocaust, Dad was on alert. This is in Ottawa, and he was on alert, and which meant he had to pretty much sleep beside one of those aircraft, ready to go. And when if the balloon ever went up, and again we were very, very close to that happening, he would take off. So we had no idea if he was going to come home at night. But what he did during that time, he had bought this model kit, which is the visible V8 engine, and he brought it home and he built it for us on the kitchen table. And as the name implies, it's a plastic model, a 1/4 scale model of a V8 engine. And when you put in the batteries and turn it on, you can see the pistons going up and down, the crankshaft turning, and there's little tiny grain of wheat light bulbs that go off and on in sequence. There's actually a distributor.
It's really cool.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And he built this for us. When, on the hours he got off, he would come home and he worked on this thing and built it for us. And I just remember the absolute joy when he turned the switch on the first time, and all of us were just amazed by this thing. So years later, I found the kit, and I built it for Dad, and I have, my modeling skills are pretty good. It's a bear to put together. It's very difficult. But he built it, and he did that for us kids while we waited for Armageddon. And it just bespeaks the kind of person that he was, the kind of love and concern that he had for his family, that he would do that. So it was a great gift for me to be able to pass it back to him. Next. So this is Dad passed in 2007. And his mental and physical health have been declining for almost 10 years. Before that, we watched him slip away. And writing his eulogy was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, because you're doing it through a veil of tears. But the thing was, I reread all our correspondence and just looked at all the pictures, and it was like bringing him back to life. And so I created this, which is a shadow cabinet that I gave to my stepmom that I just got back, which has the Mustang, which is his favorite plane, his tie with the RCF tartan, his medals, his dog tags, and little pins of... my favorite one, right above the poppy, you can't quite make it out, but that's actually a caterpillar. He was a member of the Caterpillar Club, which is a very exclusive club of people who have survived bailing out of an aircraft. So that Sabre that you saw, I was about 2 years old at the time, and they had lost the pilot under circumstances that they weren't clear what it was. So he, there it is right there. So he I believe he was a squadron leader at the time. So he took one of these sabers up and he got it into this flat spin and tightened it up and got out of it, tightened it up, got out of it. And then finally got into a spin that was so tight that he couldn't get out of it. And so, and he described it, and if anybody knows pilots, they're a really sanguine bunch. Like they've got, stainless steel veins with ice water running through them. So, and he's got a great sense of humor, my dad. And he said, okay, so I knew, let's see, you try A, you try B, you try C. There's an old saying in the Air Force, like the third red light kills you. Like something goes wrong, you can deal with it. Second thing goes wrong, okay, got it. And then something else goes wrong, that's what does you in. So he thought, okay, what am I going to do? So those aircraft had fuel tanks underneath the wings. So he said, okay, get rid of the fuel tanks. So he thought, I better duck my head down just in case they come rolling over the wings and hit me in the head. So he punches them off, and he kind of peers up over the sill, and there's these huge fuel tanks are now formating on his wings as he's spinning around and round and round. Now, fortunately, they finally go away. So he figures, okay, time to go because the Earth is zooming up at me. He, pulls the handles, and what's supposed to happen is the canopy is supposed to pop off, and then the ejection seat fires out and deploys your chute.
And then you get shorter.
Yes, it's true, because your spine compresses. Fortunately for Dad, or unfortunately rather, the canopy did not deploy, so he had to fire straight through the canopy, which knocked him out. It hit him in the head, knocked him out, and happily, about a few months before, they had just installed automatic feature on these ejection seats, which would deploy your chute for you. Because if he had been knocked out and they didn't have this seat, we would not be having this conversation. Right. So thank you, Martin Baker, for making such a wonderful product.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you, Martin Baker. They're the guys who make the ejection seat. So anyway, so he comes to and looks up, and here's this beautiful big parachute, and he thinks, okay, so I'm coming down to the ground pretty fast, and it's all forest, and he figures, getting hung up in a tree is going to suck, so I'll just kind of like do the thing they teach you about you pulling the risers, and you move this. Pulls in the risers, the front of the canopy folds under, and he figures, that's it. Well, the good Lord has got me this far. I am not going to mess with fate anymore. So he fortunately lands in a little clearing and realizes, okay, I wonder if anybody knows where I am, because I'm going to freeze to death out here, because it was in the middle of winter. Right. And unbeknownst to him, back at the base, nobody did know he was gone until a lady, a farmer, called the base and said, hello, I just saw one of your planes crash. And they went, oh, that's not possible because they're all back. Oh, okay, well, have a nice day. And then finally somebody went down on the flight line and went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh. And the best part is that one of his pals that he had served with, it was his job to go and tell my mom that Dad was missing. And I love the way she tells it because, I think the toughest people in the world are, at the time, of course, the wives of pilots. So this guy comes out the door and rings the doorbell, and Mom says, "Hey, what's up?" His name was Duke Warren, and he says, "Hi, Peggy. How do you like my new gray coat?" And she just said, cut to the chase. What's up with Charles? Oh, okay. Do you still like my gray coat? Now, the good news is they found him. They could not get a helicopter in because he was in so much brush, and they had to hack a trail to him, and they got him out. So the long and the short of it was they figured out that this was something that pilots should not do because they was never going to get out of it. His helmet was on display. It's like why you wear your helmet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so sorry, I got off on a bit of a tangent there.
Did you?
Next. Yes, next. So when Dad passed, I wanted to have something to do with his monument, so I designed that. I wanted to do something very simple and respectful and elegant. And those are poppies that Alex and Raymond and I left one year. Next. And then there's also these ad astra stones. The motto of the Royal Canadian Air Force is per ardua ad astra, which is through adversity to the stars, which is a lovely sentiment that I think we can all, inspire us. So this is the National Air Force Museum of Canada, the RCF Museum, and these stones are all around, and anyone can purchase one and have it placed for any member who served in the RCF over the course. Next. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say I've been there several times, so I would have been right there near there and not known that connection.
Thank you. Yeah. So we get the There was a bit of a flap today, or yesterday, I guess, because notorious loudmouth Don Cherry was shooting his mouth off about like if you don't wear a poppy, you're not a good Canadian or something, and it was really like, give me a break. I don't think anyone should tell anyone else how to observe or respect or remember, those who have served. I wear a poppy every day. It's right here in my heart. This is my desk, and as you can see, there's two pictures of my dad, the one from the Star Weekly and the one of him under the tail of the 101. He watches over me. He inspires me. He was a man who followed his bliss and who encouraged others, myself included. I followed a very atypical career path for someone who's a military brat.
Yeah, you hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your hair is almost as long as mine was.
Oh no, it's happening again.
I'm becoming my father. Oh no.
As someone who comes from an RCMP family, that's relatable.
Must work for Marvel.
No, don't do it. Don't sell your soul. Or if you do, sell it for a fortune. By the way, that's an actual nuclear safety poster that Dad brought home for me one time that concentrate on the job.
I've been trying to find that for ages. I have
You
a
never
photo so
will.
I can recreate it.
I will leave it to you. But you won't get it for a long time.
Good. I don't
next.
want it for a long time.
So I want to talk about my mom, because like I say, Mom had so much courage and gumption, and boy, what she put up with. She lived in a trailer at the end of a runway while Dad was off going to air combat whatever in North Africa when she was living in Germany, which is where I was born. She was, freezing with two kids now, and she's amazing. This is my favorite picture of me and my mom.
Oh, I see what you did there.
What's that, Alex?
You're being smart again.
Yes. You can't see me because I won't be born
You're
for about another
expectant.
10 days. That typewriter she gave me when I went off to college, and I used it for about 20 years, and I still have it. And that picture sits there on that typewriter, and I think about her all the time as well. We lost her in '95, we were kind of like oil and water as we got older. But I prefer to, I think, very fondly and with great love and affection of my mom as the best mother a boy could possibly have. And I think that's something that we do, is especially as we get older, we determine what is worth hanging on to and celebrating, and what is worth just letting go and dissipating. Next. So, like I say, they were enormously, supportive. This is me with my Incredible Hulk T-shirt, my comic book collection. Like I say, they never dissuaded me from, because when I was 11, I decided I was going to do this for a living.
Right.
And they never said, that's a dumb idea. I mean, once or twice they said, honey, what about architecture? They draw the... No! I'm going to draw comics like Jack Kirby.
I know this is obvious, but you're such a dork.
I know. To this day, I was going to say I have better hair. No, I don't. I have less hair. But I don't know why I had that dorky haircut. I wanted a brush cut. I wanted to look like Peter Parker. I thought I was Peter Parker when I was a kid.
Of course you did.
Yeah, anyway.
Why wouldn't you want to be Peter Parker?
So, by the way, that, which I bought in 1966, now belongs to Gareth Godin, who runs Legends Comic Shop. Big shout out to Gareth. I think it was a wedding present I gave to him. So it's the same one. Next. This is how dorky I was. I built all of the Marvel characters that I loved out of Lego. And this is tough because this was back when they only had like 4 colors.
Yeah.
None of this, jazz I got nowadays with the little,
Yeah, you
things.
couldn't go to the store and buy the set of like,
I
here are all the
say-
Marvel minifigs. You know,
This
you
is
weren't following
testament
a
to the strength
script.
of
You
the
were like,
design.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
build this.
Okay, well, I got to tell you about Alex.
What? Oh, God.
Alex and Raymond, we would buy them Lego because it's the greatest toy ever invented, right? Raymond would always build stuff, so he would look at the box and go, right, and he would build exactly to plan, which is kind of the way you have to build models. So, I really admired and respect that, because if you build a model wrong, then, you'd end up with stuff like, a part that, like a seat that doesn't go into, Sorry. Alex, however, would just dump the stuff on the floor and go, wah! And he would build something amazing. So, anyway, I'm particularly proud of the Invisible Girl, now Invisible Woman.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Because they had just, I think they just introduced the Claire pieces. So, yeah.
Is that Daredevil there?
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
So Spider-Man, Daredevil. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yep, and Spider-Man, and then the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and Iron Man right beside Daredevil. Did you say Iron Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wide.
Yeah. So
Daredevil was the one that I was wondering.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was trying to figure out. I'd gotten everyone else, and I was like,
cool. Okay, next. 66. So this is the Avro Arrow, which is, of course, this spectacular aircraft which is designed and built in Canada. Dad would have flown those, but they were canceled because it was believed that the era of the Man Interceptor was over. And I comforted myself by knowing that in some ways, with the savings from not building the spectacular aircraft, we all got socialized medicine. So, like, thank you, John Diefenbaker, you jerk.
It's not like I like you or anything.
No. Ken, I love my
Be
husky
careful, I'm
boy.
from Saskatoon.
Anyway, next. By the way, you can visit that before you go on. You can visit that. That is the last remaining piece of an arrow. They hack them up with blow torches, and you actually see the marks where they cut them up, and that's all that remains. There's a couple wing panels as well, but there is a full-scale model. Anyway, so I got to. I am actually an official war artist. In 1984, I got the assignment to depict the peacetime activities of navigators in the Canadian Armed Forces and the Air Arm, and I got to go for a ride in the back seat of those very Voodoos that Dad had flown back in the day. This is me trying to look all right stuffy, and I'm actually terrified here. I'll tell you another quick story about that. We only have 4 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. So you have to do what's called high altitude indoctrination, which means they put you in a hyperbaric chamber and they bounce up to 30,000 feet, and they do explosive decompression and all this stuff, and you get to experience hypoxia, which is great fun.
is that what we're calling that? It's fun?
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
being drunk, isn't it?
It is, because what happens is they turn off your oxygen at 30,000 feet, and very rapidly you discover like what your symptoms of hypoxia are, so that you recognize them if something ever goes wrong. It's really cool because they give you a little chart, and you have to draw these figures, and you keep drawing them, and you can actually watch your mental capacities deteriorate, like in less than 5 minutes it goes. And being an artist, I thought, I'm going to show them. I'm going to do my perfect maple leaves. I'm going to draw these here. It's weird too because some people get really surly. This one guy said, "This is BS," and he dropped the clipboard and got up and tried to get out of the hyperbaric chamber before they sat him down and turned his air back on. So that was kind of fun. So anyway, so then 3 minutes. So then, as I'm going out to the plane to go for my my ride, in which I actually did break the sound barrier, which was very exciting. They said, "Did you get you did HAI, which is high altitude indoctrination? Did you get ground egress training?" I said, "What?" I said, "Oh no, come with me." So on the way back, they said, "Yeah, you gotta know how to get out of the plane in case it crashes on takeoff." And he said, "Yeah, just a few months ago, like Navy pilot in Patuxent there, somewhere like that. Yeah, you ran off the end of the runway, aircraft in flames, undoes all his belts and buckles and things, jumps over the side, and he'd forgotten to undo his Marine lanyard, and he hung there and he was incinerated." And I know they were just like trolling me, but I was like, how about we just don't attach my Marine lanyard? How about that? So anyway, so we did that, got back in, took off. It was amazing because these aircraft have what are called afterburners, which is basically they give full power and then they squirt like raw fuel into the jet of flux, which explodes and gives you this unbelievable acceleration. So we did what's called an Immelman, which is where you take off like this and you go up and then you're on your back and then you're actually looking up at the ground and then it snaps over like that.
Okay.
And it was fabulous. And I did the stupidest thing. I said to the pilot, I said, I'm so impressed right now. You don't have to do anything to impress me, which is like red meat to a pilot. So of course he wanted to show me like kind of stuff.
Don't.
So yeah. So breaking the sound barrier was kind of anticlimactic because we're in northern BC and we're up at about 40,000 feet or something like that. And they put it into a shallow dive, and they plug in the burners again, and you just watch the Mach meter kind of go in 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, and then the whole plane just kind of shivered, and then it stopped. It was like I was suspended in midair, and nothing was moving. All I could hear was just the thrumming of the engine coming through, your body. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. And he said, okay, well, we can't do this for long because the taxpayers are paying for this joyride of yours. Thank you, taxpayers. So we're going to go subsonic now. So not only did he yank the throttle back, he popped the speed brakes as well. So he went from like just over 700 miles an hour to down to about 5 or 6 or something. And so I was just hanging in the straps going like this. So you really notice like going subsonic again. The transonic thing is like no big deal. And then on the way back down, of course, we saw the ferry coming over from Powell River. This is up in Comox. And of course,
I grew up in Powell River.
was that you? No, wait, no, you were even.
It could have been.
And he decided he had to beat out the Powell River ferry, so we go. We're zooming by.
It's not hard to beat the Powell River Ferry, I can tell you that.
In a plane?
Yeah, I suppose. Anyway, so got back. All right, next. So this is what I produced. This is a series of I did a series of 8 paintings. I was responsible for doing 6, of which they choose 4. I did 8. They liked them so much that they bought the rest. These are now on in the collection of the National War Museum in Ottawa, which I absolutely recommend. Anyone who's in Ottawa, go and see it. It is a world-class museum. It's absolutely incredible.
It's amazing.
Thank you. So yeah, so it was a really wonderful chance to honor my dad and all those who had flown and fought during the Cold War. Next. Okay, I'm going to save this for after, like the shift change, okay? Because there's about another dozen slides or so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
Do you
is
wanna,
that cool?
Yeah, I'm totally good with that. It's just going to be a little bit of a tone shift if that's all right with you, because we have to announce the results of our art contest.
Sure.
And
Yep.
we'll do the shift changeover, and then if you like, we can come straight back to that.
Let's do that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you.
Give
We
people
will
a
have
tissue break.
Yeah, we will have more of that in a little bit. And as Alex said, perhaps folks will need a tissue break. I'm going to really quickly go through the winners of our Alpha Flight Creative Challenge for the cover art of our mixtape. We're gonna take a couple minutes before we go into that, and then we're going to transition over to Night Watch. We're aware that it's past 6, but we're gonna take a couple minutes before we get there. But we have switched over to Night Watch. The shift total switched over. We're going to have fresh giveaways coming through, and we're going to have fresh entertainers as well.
How much did we make on the shift?
So for the previous one?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I didn't catch it
I
before.
think
but it
over
was
30,
like 30 something.
31K,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Penn Gillette call in
Yeah.
with an incredible giveaway.
I saw that. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had TQ with the Nightmare Before Christmas sells donations. We had that Legacy Books Press lot.
Yeah.
And there's one other that I'm missing here, which was, do you recall, Matt?
Baldur's Gate?
That was the Baldur's
Yep.
Gate one. Yeah, while I was having my dinner break. So yeah. Excellent. They're just passing the creative challenge stuff over from Tim on the comms team to engineering. They're going to have that ready in a couple minutes. We're looking like looks like we're 82 hours and $8,200 to the next hour. So I have
Nice.
full faith that Night Watch is going to be able to carry us through there.
What are you pointing at?
I believe in that.
Well, the reason this is a drop ceiling is we keep all the money up there.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's gonna crush us.
it is.
Yeah. It's already crushed me. I'm completely blown away by
It
where
certainly
we're at
crushed
right
all previous years.
now. We passed Desert Bus 5 earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Apparently, that's what they tell me.
Yeah. And we're apparently ahead of every previous.
Oh, wait a
year.
minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I've got something here.
What?
Is
Oh,
it
got something
Desert
here.
Bus 5?
No, but I'm trying to remember what.
All right.
This is for the room.
Yes. It's in my purse.
I don't know if that counts.
I don't know if that counts.
Well, we'll do that in a sec, but engineering has got this ready. We're going to start with one of our runner-ups, Van Bale. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Van Bale or Bale, right here. Alpha Flight, Alpha Tunes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So this is one of our runner-ups. Next up, we have one from Soap Toaster, which has a good username.
Whoa.
Very psychedelic vibe. Look at that.
Neat.
Yeah. There's a lot of like hidden little like old memes in that. I can see Bone Zone. I can see a whole bunch of different little text bits in there.
Gonna ask about that tomorrow.
I didn't realize they made a sequel to Prayer Warriors.
We'll give you the rundown tomorrow, but the short version is the Bone Zone used to be what is now Kevin's Corner, the prize
neat.
scam.
Okay.
We also have I Amethyst, who made their art on an actual cassette tape.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Impressed.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I wish I could see that.
I'll make sure that you see these afterwards.
I
Jacob.
appreciate it.
Not a problem. We also have, I don't know how to pronounce that one, but I'm going to go with Maggot the Maggot as a runner-up. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the bus we be driving with Harry the Creepy Doll and some sort of horrible goose, I think.
Can you imagine being stuck on this
Yeah.
bus with a goose?
Yeah, there's a goose on that bus. We have Librarian Oz with that.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, vote Lizard, vote Kathleen. And then finally, we have our winner, Chan, with this.
Wow!
Nice.
Look at that.
Oh man, I don't want to like put us on the hook for anything, but get that on a T-shirt.
Right? That looks amazing. Thank you very, very much to everybody who entered this contest. It was very, very difficult for Kathleen to choose a winner.
Yeah.
Huge shout outs to our winner and all of our runners up, everybody who entered. Our winner, please make sure that you get in touch at prize@desertbus.org so that we can get your T-shirt size, and we can get you that T-shirt, and we can get you the 2018 or 2019 Desert Bus doubloon. I'm holding the 2018 one. I'm not sure where my 2019 one is. And also, as more astute viewers have noticed, it's past 6 p.m. It's 6:06. It's time for Night Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for it.
Oh, the color
Look
just
at that
changed
light.
behind me. Look at
That's
that.
the Night Watch lighting.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
got
the
a
first
bug.
thing that happens.
I want to hear an owl.
I don't know if they have any owls.
Do you have an owl?
But we're ready for Night Watch anytime they are. They're all hanging
Would this be a
out.
good time to like take a quick like break from music?
Yeah, why don't you
Can I?
take a quick break if you
I think I
want?
better.
Yeah, go for it.
Coffee's working its magic on me.
Yeah,
That
go for it.
was way more info than I need.
Sorry.
I'll keep your
Oh, wait a minute.
seat.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
turn
gonna
this
say-
off.
I was going to say, hey Ken, why don't I mute you?
Yeah, that'd be.
And I'll confirm that you're muted.
He
and then you can
remembers.
take a quick break. Oh. Actually, you're going to need to take... I've just been given a heads up that you're going to have to wait on your break. We need you. You're very important. And I'm going to unmute your mic once again here so that you can speak. Sorry, I need to get a little personal here.
No, that's okay.
There we go.
All right.
Oh,
yes!
wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
The Mysterons, sworn enemies of Earth, possessing the ability to recreate an exact likeness of an object or person. But first, they must destroy.
This is the voice of the Mysterons. We know that you can hear us, Earthmen. You attacked our complex on Mars, and you will pay a heavy price. Our next act of retaliation will be to destroy the city of London. Do you hear, Earthmen? We will destroy the city of London.
Well, I'm glad I'm not going to London anytime soon.
Wow, my spine is in an uncomfortable position.
If it's London, Ontario, we've got nothing,
Yes.
not much.
Thank you.
All right.
Gosh, if I had known, I would have worn my Captain Scarlet outfit like last year. Maybe this should be a theme. We should like every year do another Anderson thing.
Now would be a good time for you to.
Okay, all right. So what is all right? Marina, Aquamarina.
Don't forget me.
Come on, Stingray, guys. Oh wait a minute.
So,
I knew it. I just couldn't have told you.
so Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons
Oh,
was
man.
a Super Marionation show from Jerry Anderson's 21st Century Television, made after Thunderbirds. I knew Ken would appreciate that.
Yep.
And yeah, it's about this like group of people named Spectrum. They're all named after colors.
SIG.
And they're fighting the Mysterons, who are these omnipresent aliens. And luckily for Spectrum, Captain Scarlet is indestructible.
Yep.
I need to trade you. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
Oh, I see.
Boy, let me tell you, doing all the night shift intros this week, I have learned a lot about fonts.
Oh, typefaces, right?
Yes. So obviously the credits, all the names there were set in Euro style.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Yes. But two different fonts for the titles there. Shoutouts, by the way, to Corey and Corey. Corey in engineering has been coordinating a lot of the like tech end of these the video aspects of these, and for that one specifically, Corey Dickinson was operating the flashlights because the opening titles to Captain Scarlet has everyone just sitting there listening to the Mysterons
So, like, what
dunk on them
what is
while these
this?
lights dance across their bodies.
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
My shirt's on inside out.
How did you do that? What was that noise? What happened in engineering? Are you guys
Did
okay?
something explode? Ben?
Are
No,
you?
We're okay. Somebody just like breathe. Eh?
What happened?
Chad's
Well,
having a rough time.
chat died. There was some horrible audio, but I don't know what.
I don't know what happened. Okay, you're okay though.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Map and Corey know what it is, but they're not telling me.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I guess.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hi. Welcome to Night Watch, where we are just taking a brief break in the middle of story time with Ken, because Ken's back, not for the full breadth of the Ken experience that we have enjoyed in previous years, but still for some fun times. Oh, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, you sweet man. Thank you so much. Have fun through the haunted house.
Wait, what?
That hallway is like a haunted house now. It's got like layers of blankets.
That's cool.
We manufactured our own murder hallway.
Yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Murder
felt sad
corridor.
that we were missing it.
Oh.
Ninyom Pepa.
Oh yeah, this looks legit.
What is it?
This is apparently.
Is that drugs? Who sold you the drugs?
It's mostly honey with a bunch of herbs, and apparently it's voice actor secret tech, or vocal performer secret tech.
So that's why there was a jar of that.
It was
over there.
Jacob's, yeah. He's using it to keep.
Wow, you are just gonna pound that.
Are you allowed to do that?
That's thick.
Only on the internet.
Dang, that is real thick though.
Is that one of those energy drinks?
No, this is for my throat.
Oh.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, unsure if I had a cold or if I was just very tired and my throat hurt.
No hope for
obviously,
you, just in case.
if I had a cold, I would not be here right now. As it turns out, I was just very, very tired and my throat hurt because of I don't take very good care of my throat during Desert Bus. But thankfully, Jacob does take good care of my throat. So
That's
thank
not like the
you,
opening line
Jacob.
to a song, you know. Woke up this morning, my throat felt so bad.
Da-da-da-da. I didn't know if I had a cold or just as bad.
Taking good care of your throat is vaguely threatening.
I'm gonna touch your bits.
Oh,
over
that's
here.
right, that's right. Boop.
There you go.
We're all friends here.
The boss says take care of Stock's throat. You know what I mean? One of these.
How you doing, Gil? Gil's doing all right. Hi, we're back. Oh wait, that's you're supposed to say that.
Hi, we're back. Well, I was here for
Right.
through all of.
Hi,
yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, Ken's back.
Okay.
So, I was watching a child, so I don't know sort of where we're at over the course of the
Your
evening.
child, I admit.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you know the child?
I decided today I would watch my own child, and so you're in the middle of story time.
Yes, I was going to do a little bit more story, and then we can actually start doing like real Desert Bus business. If you will,
Did you
indulge
bring
me.
an entire creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, no. Unfortunately, we had to truncate the Gill Man, so we have most
I
of the
only
creatures.
just saw it, and
Yeah. Okay, they would not ship. I ordered this from the States. They would not ship it to Canada. So I have a friend Wonderful artist.
has
Paul
the-
Chapman.
Did you smuggle it here?
Who has the legs, and then you both wear a necklace with your
I
half.
wish.
okay.
I would make him a deal. No, so I had to ship it to Paul and then go over on the ferry to San Juan Island, where he lives, to pick it up. So I'm going through customs to bring it back, and the guy says, "Do you have anything to declare?" And I said, "Yes, a life-size creature from the Black Lagoon." And he goes, "Any cigarettes, tobacco, or firearms?" I'm like, "No, but didn't you hear me? I've got this thing,
I
this
don't
this
care."
thing." And he's like, "Whatever, go." I thought, "Oh, you're no fun."
Is it made of
So-
forest
Welcome
hair?
So,
If it's not
That's what I should've
narcotics, I
told him.
don't give a bus.
so next time I'm gonna get the costume. I'm gonna wear it. Something like that. Okay, there we go. Sorry, where were we?
I don't know. You were talking about something.
Yes, I was. I just want to talk a little bit more about
You
Remembrance
brought
Day.
you brought a presentation.
I did. So if we can have the next slide, please.
Okay.
Next.
Goodbye, Matt.
So long. It was nice knowing y'all.
Okay, so in 2009, Joan and I went to visit the Vimy Memorial, which is, I wouldn't say I'm in any way religious. I do have a spiritual dimension. And this was the closest thing I've had to, I think, a religious experience in my life. So aside from being witness to the birth of our two fine sons.
Oh, shucks.
So this is the approach to the Vimy Memorial. As you probably know, it's a magnificent memorial to the Canadians who died in World War I. There it is. As you approach, and just a bit of backstory, we were going to go on. We were going to be there on Remembrance Day, but we screwed up our travel plans and we missed the train. So it worked out really well because that day was actually a very rainy, miserable day. There were like tens of thousands of people there, so the place was packed. But the next day, when we caught the train, went there, it was abandoned, and the weather was gorgeous. So as you approach, this is where the battlefield was, and they've left it exactly the way it was, except of course the grass has grown in. But this sign says that there's unexploded ordnance there, so you're not allowed to walk off the path. Next. So this is what you see as you walk by, like stands of pines and maple trees. It's off in the distance. Next. And there it is. This was designed in the 20s by an artist named Alward. It took many years to actually build, to construct. By the way, the maquettes, for those who are able to go to the War Museum in Ottawa, the maquettes, which are the plaster models for this, are all there. You can actually see them. So all the figures on this memorial are twice life size. Next.
How tall is the memorial itself?
I'm not exactly sure, but I'll show you in a minute to get a sense of the scale.
Pretty big.
Next. And what I found fascinating too was you look past these enormous allegorical figures, and there's a colliery in the distance that has been active for hundreds of years.
What's a colliery?
It's a coal mine.
Oh.
And these are the tailings from the coal mine that just... and I just found it just recently that they have actually reclaimed these and they've turned them into hiking trails and you can ski in them in the winter and so on. It's really weird. But what struck me was that the soldiers, the Canadian soldiers who were there, they saw these very same mounds of coal mine tailings. Next. So that'll give you an idea. That's Joan. I'll give you an idea how big these figures are. And then all around the base are next. People, again, this is the day after Remembrance Day, so there were a lot of poppies. These are mostly British people, so they're slightly different poppies than the ones that we're familiar with here. Next. So all around the base are the names of, I believe it's like 11,000 Canadian servicemen who perished during the conflict. Vimy, the Battle of Vimy Ridge is notable because it was the first time that all 4 Canadian divisions were under Canadian command, and they were successful in achieving a goal that had been eluded the Allies until that point. Next. So it really bears remembering, of course, that it was in combat until relatively recently. It has been young men who have made the supreme sacrifice. But of course, women had a great deal to do with the war effort. And just a few months ago, I did an illustration for the Globe and Mail of the illustration was for an article, a review of books about the heroic exploits of women during the Second World War. And so there was one about the Night Witches, who were Russian bomber and fighter pilots who terrified their Nazi counterparts because of their remarkable skill and courage. Another book was about Secret Service agents who were parachuted into occupied France, and the work, the very perilous work they did there. And then, of course, also journalists and photographers who documented the war and reported back. So when I did this illustration, I thought, I could make these, it was a generic illustration, but I thought, I want to honor not just these women, but also the three most important women in my life. So the pilot I modeled on my mother-in-law, Emily Thornborough, Joan's mom, and then in the middle is Joan, and then the one with the camera is my mom.
Aww.
So that was one of my, I think one of the best things I've ever done. I'm very enormously proud of that. All right, next. And there is, I know what I was going to say very quick. After we had visited Vimy, we were just about to leave, and a bus pulled. Like I said, it was abandoned. There was nobody there, and then a bus pulled up, and there was a bunch of middle school kids, and they all came running out, and they were all running around, and they were taking selfies, and doing what kids do. And I was kind of upset because I thought I wasn't mad at the kids, because they probably would have said, "Okay, boomer." No, sorry. I was kind of annoyed at the teacher because I thought the teacher would have prepared these, and they're French kids, and I thought, maybe you might have told them that this is a memorial to like many thousands of young Canadians, not much older than they are, who came here and gave their lives, gave their, for your tomorrow, they gave their today.
I mean, my teacher gave me, I've been to Vimy, right?
Yeah.
Like, almost the same thing happened because like we went there. We were like high school age.
Yeah.
But we all posed up to do the photo, and like an idiot, I was like, and the teacher's like, don't.
Yeah. Well,
this is a very solemn affair, and it's like, oh.
And that's the thing, Alex, is I was just kind of disappointed that particular teacher hadn't, I thought, properly, prepared them.
Context
So,
is relevant, so.
yeah, it was kind of like, this is the reason that you're still speaking French and not German. Anyway, so in our program, we tell our students, tell the stories only you can tell. But also, because we're visual storytellers, we work with words and pictures, and that enables us to tell other people's stories as well. And I encourage anyone out there who is fortunate enough to still have, grandparents, even great-grandparents, is spend some time with them, like hear their stories. And if you have a way of communicating those stories, either with comics or with write something or write a poem or do a painting or whatever it is, find a way of articulating for them, because many vets are reticent about sharing those stories, and once they're gone, those stories are gone as well. So definitely reach out. I talk the talk, but I hope I walk the walk as well. What you're looking at right here, T-Bird, is my attempt to do that. Growing up, or actually after I left college, I felt kind of adrift because I never felt like I had a tribe. I never felt I had, an identifiable group. I was just, just this guy. But then, little by little, I saw an amazing movie called The Great Santini, which was like a documentary about my life. It was about a military family, a pilot, and his dysfunctional family and so on. And I thought, wow, they had a camera inside my home when I was growing up. And so I had the same experience as a journalist named Mary Edwards Wirch, and she wrote a book called Military Brats. And so I got the book, read the book, thought, holy cow, this is amazing. I suddenly understand who I am, and that I do have a tribe, and that we do know each other, and we are invisible to everyone else but each other, and we do have secret handshakes, and we do have ways that we know each other. But no one has ever told our story. So this is the thing that I've been working on for about over 10 years now. I was originally going to be an autobiography, and Joan, who you may know, just did a graphic memoir about growing up and her struggles with literacy and so on. I'm not that brave, so I wanted to take a step back and create fictional proxies for my life. And in so doing, I thought I could tell more stories, that I could include more people's stories than just my own. So anyway, so keep an eye out for this in the next 10 years sometime, I guess. I have been speaking with the War Museum in Ottawa, and I pitched the idea of doing a show of some kind about military brats. And they were receptive to the idea, so something may happen. I certainly hope so. But also, if you know any brats, do reach out to them. I found that we fall into two relatively distinct categories: those who embrace the life and were, strengthened and perhaps even ennobled by it, but the others who were quite damaged by it. And so there are many issues or many wounds that still must be healed. And I think by telling those stories and sharing those stories is a way of doing just that. Okay, so there you go. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thanks for sharing that, Ken. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna read the chat for a while now. You guys just carry on whatever.
No, you have to clear out your garage.
Oh, all right,
like
I'll do
you
that first.
promised.
Well, I actually have something.
Before we do that, we need to get on with the most important ceremony
yes.
of the evening, which
What?
is, can I get the bus stop overlay?
Oh my God!
Oh, okay.
Matt did get a bus stop during the story.
I got a bus stop.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What? Where? Did I
There
miss
it
that?
is.
Oh yeah, it was during. It was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very quietly.
Yeah.
Very respectfully.
I was just silently
solemn
stopped at a bus stop,
yeah.
picked up nobody, and kept going.
That's terrible.
All right.
Okay, so.
So what 12, 18
well, hang
things
on,
do you
hang on.
have for us
First
this year?
and foremost, I have something
That was a joke.
that I wanted to give to Alex.
That was a joke.
Wait, what? Do that.
So.
What the heck is this?
So I did a project a few years ago with the Indigenous Law Department. Actually, it's the only program in Indigenous law in existence. It's up at UVic. And we did a graphic novel about the application of Cree law, First Nations law, in a contemporary context. And when we had a wonderful ceremony when the book was first published, and I was deeply honored to be gifted with this feather case. And we're actually working on a second book right now, which is about couch and water law and those issues. And the third book we're hoping to do is going to be very difficult. It's on the missing and murdered Indigenous women. So again, these are the stories that visual storytelling, comics, graphic novels are so it's the perfect medium to be telling these stories. Anyway, so this is a feather case, and the one thing I don't have is an eagle feather, but I do have I have 2 Canada Goose feathers. I have a swan feather and a barred owl feather. And I've also kept, when I was at Vimy, I picked up a number of maple leaves. And so I was always meant to do this. I wanted to give this to Alex as one of the maple leaves from Vimy.
That's a really nice one.
Yeah.
That's like an archetypical maple leaf.
Yeah.
Now,
That's,
who knows?
That
Who
is
knows
Canada.
what kind of
Yeah.
maple
Really
leaf
is.
that is?
What
Because
kind?
well, there's so many different maple trees.
There are.
There's at least 3 different maple trees at Vimy. So I'm not sure which one that is, and somebody who knows better.
Do we have a
than me.
botanist who?
What the heck am I going to put this in to keep
Oh
it from
right,
getting
yeah.
damaged?
Don't- Here, I'll put it back in the case.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll like put it in lucite or something.
All right.
Thank you.
Put your name on it so you know which one is yours.
Yes. Ian Horner.
We got Sharpies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crunch.
Alrighty. So, put that. Oops. Over there. Forget. Okay. So. All right. We got all the serious business out of the way. Now what? Why am I here? Oh yes.
Get the presents. Get
Why
the
am I
presents.
here? And what is that? And what is in the? What is? There's my favorite so far. Ken, so many different maple leaves. Stacy. Okay. Okay. So first things first. Let's get some some old business out of the way. I am very embarrassed. I have to say that I am bereft. I am because a number of the commissions that I have taken on, I have not gotten around to in a forthright and timely fashion, and I've done a lot of mea culpas about that. But happily, Desert Bus as a community is enormously forgiving. Their forbearance is greatly appreciated, and I actually finished some commissions here that I couldn't on camera. So the first ones I want to do are ones which are the actual paintings in progress, and this is 2 years worth. I'm sorry for you. They're going to be awesome. By the way, my axiom is the longer it takes, the better it gets, and the bigger it gets too. So if you wait long enough, it's going to be like the side of a wall or something. Yes? You're about to make a comment?
No.
Do you want to show them off on the
I should do that. Why don't I do that? Can I go over here?
Yeah.
I'm going over here.
Yeah, and you can keep talking because you're on a mic. There's a mic over there.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay.
All right, tell us all about it.
This is Cam.
This is Kevin.
We call it Kevin.
Kevin. Hello.
It's a robot. Oh yeah.
Oh, you can see the top of your
there's a
head.
preview right in front of you.
Ah, that's horrifying. Live long and prosper. All right. Okay, so first we have, this one is for, I think this is last year, and a wonderful bidder named Todd Williams had asked for a mashup, you're going to love this, because I've been whining about how I'd never done
Archie comics.
A mashup of Archie and Harry Potter. So I took the most classic Archie cover from back in the 40s and just made it, Ron and Archie and Hermione. I love Hermione, that like so many people still think it's Hermione or something.
I love that Ron's getting in on this Sunday too.
Well,
Juggy as Dumbledore is just.
Oh my!
Yes. Thank you.
Dumble Jug.
And then
wow.
and then what's his name? Malfoy.
Oh yeah.
Who would be Reggie? I mean,
yeah,
really, it's
definitely.
Just like, it's absolutely perfect. So they're in the three broomsticks or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, right.
And I wasn't sure if that was going to be like a butterbeer or something. So maybe you guys can help me out with the.
I think all the things you said are correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty
so,
sure.
Right. All right. Is butterbeer like an alcoholic beverage?
No, that's the whole point. Is that it's not alcoholic because the high school children drink
It sounds disgusting, actually.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
Made from butter is like
Butterbeer.
like really gross. Anyway, so this is a work in progress. Again, thank you, so much, Todd. The next one is from a bidder who wishes to remain anonymous, and so this is for Anonymous bidder, and this is they had asked for a portrait of their family as a
That's so
as an
cool.
X-wing pilot and as.
And these both ones you've shown so far are still in progress. You said.
Oh my God! Yeah, these are just the rough sketches. So you'll see that I'm actually working on them. These will be complete paintings by the time I finish them, which ideally would be before next year's Desert. I promise. So anyway, that was fun, and the three kids. I thought we'd have one, fixing her lightsaber, another brandishing it, another one. I always thought, even when I saw the movie, I thought those helmets looked like cereal bowls. So I thought, well, what the heck? They're eating.
It's not just you.
What kind of cereal do they eat in the Star Wars universe, or do they?
Wasn't the prop actually made of like a vacuum cleaner or something?
Maybe.
Probably.
Bantha crisps.
Yes, there you go.
Bantha crisps.
Crunchy
Fresh
banthas.
blue milk.
All right. So there's those. So yes, I'm going right home and work on those tonight. In fact, I should probably leave right now. No.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Okay. So now these are the two, and this segues nicely into our first the giveaway.
Yes.
So these are. Again, these are almost finished. I will finish these tomorrow. And where's Erica? I'm doing another mea culpa and apologize to Erica.
Erica's in the other room.
Have to bring these back. So anyway, this one is. Let me see now. This one is for Paul Randazzo of a character that he, I believe, has created. What is that called when you create your own character?
An OC.
An OC.
Don't steal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't steal this character. So there's a character called Artemis Kitt, who is a a lynx-like character, a Weirlynx, I guess.
That's
I
amazing.
thought, war bears. I mean, they could, maybe do a crossover or something. That'd be
phenomenal.
Kind
I like the stick.
of cool.
Yeah,
And I thought
the jangly
we'll
beard.
put what's that? The doll's name?
Creepy doll.
Creepy doll. Okay.
Harry the creepy
By the way,
doll.
that was the creepiest thing I've seen on Desert Bus so far. Is when Tally was here unpacking Creepy Doll,
Yeah,
and you
that
started
was-
wearing the things that were coming out of it.
That was
It's like,
that was upsetting now that I think about it.
let's fumigate.
Tried to stop you.
That was creepy. Anyway, so this one is almost done, as is this one. So this one is for Sean Robert, a character called Ian Finkel that he plays in a game called World of Darkness.
Whoa!
Holy.
So this is a character, he's sort of a...
That's a World of Darkness character?
and
Dang.
also, I believe also an OC, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
well, it sounds like it's someone's like roleplay character for,
Yes.
for
So
World of
it's
Darkness.
a character who is inhabited, I think, by the spirit of Teddy Roosevelt. And he's the curator of the Natural History Museum, so he wanders around with a double-barreled shotgun and a Bowie knife and stuff. I don't know if he's just shot that skeleton and he's realized he's about to get fired because he shot a skeleton or something. I have no idea. But
oh yeah, those shells are going.
yeah.
Positive
Wow.
ejection.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that
Do we know the
familiar.
usernames of these people? I wonder if they're in
Oh.
chat right now.
Could be. Are you in the chat right now, any of you folks? That would be nice, because I can say hi and apologize once again. Yeah, I had no idea that when you break like either a double
Yeah.
barrel or an over-under shotgun, they go pa-doom.
Yeah.
And
Silverwing Actual in chat says, that one's me. It's beautiful, Ken. Thank you.
oh, thank you. It will be winging its way to you tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Did I miss anything? Is like anything I can add? I can fix it right now. Here, I got a pen. Hang on. Alrighty, so there we go. So, all right, here we come. I'm back.
And so something akin to the two most recent ones we
Yes.
saw there.
All right, so these right here. So this is what the giveaway is going to be. Is you get one of these, not these,
not those.
one like these that you commission me to do. You say, Ken, I would like you to do
Like
an
that,
OC
but
of an
anything you want.
aardvark character. It has like a really prehensile, sort of like a taper kind of like a character. That was one of the very first ones I ever did.
Yeah.
Right there. Oh my god! I actually did that at Desert Bus.
I love that whenever you have the bus going by in the background, the bus has this like, what? This like complete baffled
I kind of
expression.
wanted to reach right back and do that. You know, I
Yeah.
thought it's such a great looking character. I thought, well, I'll put the bus in the background. Going, did you see what I just saw? I was like, nah. Yep.
Oh, Squirrel Girl.
Oh, I forgot about Squirrel Girl. Yeah, she's a nut.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, we're doing that's the first giveaway that we're doing tonight on Night Watch. By the way, is for you to have a thing like that from Ken
The thing
at
like
some
that
point.
from you. Hey, an aardvark sort of like a taper. So actually, whoever wins this, if they get me to do a taper, I'm really, really delighted.
Oh, good! Someone donated just under $3, so we could have a nice palindrome of our current our total. Very nice.
Got it. It's Admiral Akbar, only a taper.
It's a tape here.
Perfect.
What did I miss?
Oh, Alex!
So,
Like the joke about the airplane.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
Okay. Okay, so now we need to come up with a figure, right?
Yes,
a
we
number.
do. A
And
number.
we've already Penn and darted 666, so we can't do that.
yeah, sorry.
That was amazing, by the way. Especially like I didn't know that he was pals with Harlan.
Oh yeah.
That was kinda cool.
Oh okay. That tracks.
Yeah. Ah! It's a taper. Oh, thanks. Okay, so what's a good number? Help me with numbers. I'm not good with numbers. I'm terrible with numbers. What would be reasonable?
How many sketches have you done? Ever?
I mean,
Oh, since the beginning?
Like since for Desert Bus?
Well, it's been one a year.
One a year.
Of these kind of sketches, and then also
since
the full color
since
painting.
3.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yes,
how
yes.
many of these have you
So
done?
this would be the
total?
11. So Ian, Ian's cooking.
What size paper are you going to be drawing these on, Ken?
Ooh, 8.5 by 11.
That sounds like a number to me.
And $8.11.
It would
Yeah.
be 861.
Well- If you
8.5.
I see what you're doing.
Plus 11.
Let's say 811 to keep it.
Okay.
Sure, let's do that. 811.
Aw, can we do 8.5?
No. And how long are we going to run that for?
Gosh, probably.
Till they carry me out of here.
I mean.
That's not reasonable. How long do you think?
Question for you, Graham.
Yeah.
So we have 2 giveaways. And
Well, let's start this one
No.
first.
No. I'm trying to just figure
total
out
for the thing?
how many things we actually have to give away over the course of the evening.
2 other giveaves.
So we have 2 other giveaways.
So
plus
this
we have-
could go. We could do like an hour. Like I know it's already 6:40, but we can do a longer time.
Well,
schedule.
the other question is, I believe Ken has another giveaway.
No.
No.
He has
Okay.
one giveaway and 2 auctions. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Okay. And I'm spending my whole night apologizing to Erica, and I feel terrible about this. Every year, we auction off or give away the costume that I wear, right? Remember?
Right. Yes.
Yes.
I do recall that.
So, this shirt I have had for like 15 or more years. Joan
You're
hates it.
You're already getting
It's
head shake.
Not.
Can I just start? Can I start this giveaway before you upset Erica?
So I kind of thought it's like, it's kind of.
You should have sent that to me in an email beforehand.
It just occurred to me tonight. I thought, what am I going to wear? I got nothing to wear. And I thought, I know, this would be perfect. And I thought, no, you'll hate me.
How about an hour and 10 minutes to go to just before 8 o'clock?
Sure, let's
That
do
sounds
that.
good.
Does that sound good, Max?
7:50.
Okay.
Yes.
7:50.
Give it to me like the rest of the things you don't want anymore.
All right, forget it. You don't get the shirt. It's like.
All right, there we go. A monochrome color sketch commission
Yay!
from Ken Steacy
Yes.
for the next hour and.
I like Ken Joan hates a Steacy and Ken upsetting Erica Steacy. All right.
So you can get one of those sketches. Can be not literally these.
Yay,
A sketch
don't
of
super
a
marinate
character
near my son.
that you nominate.
Yes. Right.
Can be yours for a mere $8.11, and as you can see, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. We'll show those off again partway through to remind everyone what you could be winning. So let's get into one of them live auctions then, huh?
Which one would you like to do first?
I think we're going to do this one first,
All right.
but there's something in here from that which I have to sort of keep from prying eyes because there's something really amazing in this
Can
one.
my eyes pry, or is it just
no.
the chat's eyes?
No.
No, I'm
nobody's
not.
eyes.
Okay.
Specialized.
I don't know.
Specialized.
We don't have clearance, Graham.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay.
What kind of
What's
leverage
the-
do
what's
you get
the-
from your eyes?
Hey, Erica, do you know the lot number offhand? Alrighty. Corey's asking for it.
I am not for sale. Well, not me personally. My work.
Is it
Oh, hi.
this one?
Yes, that would be the one.
Then it's because these numbers are accurate, right?
117.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Don't look. You'll spoil the surprise.
No, I won't.
I'm back.
Good
Okay.
news, we've
Ooh,
made
what is
$1,500
that, I
in the
wonder?
last
I
minute.
just spelled on
Gross.
myself. I don't know.
Schmutz.
It's schmutz. Okay. Hi. You may recall that I was at one point the only job I've ever actually had, aside from my fabulous job as a teacher at Camosun College.
You drove a forklift.
Oh yes, I did. I did that very badly.
Okay.
Which is why I no longer drive.
One of only 3 jobs. One of only
One of my 3
4 jobs. For 5. I'll come in again.
8 jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Was I worked for a multimedia company. Who here is old enough to remember interactive multimedia? No.
The concept or the company?
Yeah. Was that the name of the company?
No, the company was called Sanctuary Woods.
No, you have no idea how much I remember Sanctuary Woods.
Why?
Because they made the Journeyman Project.
No, they didn't.
They produced the second one.
Well,
Did
kind of.
Well, actually,
It's a long story. Anyway.
I played a game with their logo at the beginning.
Yes, well.
Fight me about it.
Okay, then you're really going to love this lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, where was I? Where I was so rudely
Over
interrupted.
here. Wow.
I worked there for 2 years. It was very, very cool. The first 5 months were amazing because we were making interactive multimedia. It's back in 1994 or 3 or something like that. 93? Whatever. And nobody knew what interactive multimedia was. And so we were just kind of winging it. And we thought that we were making interactive multimedia games for kids and so on. And that wasn't quite the case. it was actually, I learned a great deal, I have to say. Philosophically, I believe there are no mistakes in life, only good object lessons. And this one was a beaut. And it made me realize that corporate culture and me are like, and that there are things worse than not knowing where the next job was coming from. And that was going into a job where they didn't respect you and you weren't crazy about them either. So I had signed a contract for 2 years. The first 5 months were great, and then I started figuring out what was going on, and then the next 19 I was gnawing my leg off. We did do some interesting things, and I produced a series called, wait a minute. Just no.
I didn't know what you were looking for.
Relax, it's all good. It's in here somewhere.
Bushy dab.
Oops. I hope it's in here.
Who's got the gif of my like relaxing soft dab from last night?
I'm just really pleased that we're running that straight into the ground.
What?
Dabbing.
Oh yeah.
What is it anyway?
I mean, it's already into the ground.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I thought that was no longer even a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not. It's lame and old and over.
Like us.
That's why we're...
Yes.
Y'all, by the time we started doing it, like last year, it was already dead and over.
Yep.
No, I saw children dabbing, which means it's still cool.
Oh.
I've had children at Mox in Seattle see me dab to coworkers and ask me to stop.
Wow! That's awesome.
I love it.
Okay, so this is the game that I created and produced, which was the awesome adventures of Victor, Vector, and Yondo. So it was about a time-traveling agent named Victor Vector, who was kind of a bit of it was kind of like Peabody and Sherman, if you remember that cartoon. And he had a talking dog named Yondo, who was much smarter than he was. And then there was another agent named Delta Mode, and we were never sure if she was a white hat or a black hat, And so what's interesting was I was all about story. I want to tell stories, and they were all about games. And so we end up, every time I would try to say, well, let's have a sequence where this happens that develops characters. Like, no, let's have a Frogger game right in the middle of the for no apparent reason. They have to get across the highway, so they have to like dodge cars.
You were ahead of your time. They're trying to do more of that.
I am so pleased to hear this. So anyway, we produced 4 games altogether. So this lot, you're not going to believe what's in this lot. So this lot includes many things.
Ooh. Holy moly.
That's a lot.
Many.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. So first of all, we have the very first game that we did, which is the Vampire's Coffin. And see the incredibly high quality packaging that we have for this.
I got it. I see the box.
You can see the box.
One of those cardboard.
Yep.
1992.
92?
Yeah.
I was 1.
$60?
Yes.
Yeah, game prices haven't changed that much.
You got a lot of play out of it. Stop whining.
Oh, just FYI, to play this, you'll need...
This will be great.
Brace yourself.
You'll need Macintosh.
Okay.
256 colors.
Oh.
System 6.0.7 or later.
Max System 6. Wow.
4 megs of RAM.
4 megs.
Who could possibly need more?
And
who could afford that?
This is the really important part, a CD-ROM drive.
Yes.
That's actually the most difficult one
They
these
did
days.
not work all well.
I thought you were going to say 256 megs of RAM.
No.
And colors completely caught me off. I remember that. But that caught me off guard.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the first game we produced. It was also this is we're going to find out who the uber geeks are here.
Uh-oh.
All right, who remembers the VIS system? See? Dead
Nope.
silence.
Ian?
Dead silence.
There we go.
Ian, anything?
No.
Wow.
Required hardware
Wow.
VIS player. For customer service, call this number. Let's call him.
My favorite part of that is that it's still in the shrink wrap.
Yes, mint,
Like, that's
untouched by human
unopened.
hands.
There could be 90s air inside there.
Oh, let's huff that 90s.
No.
That's
You
not.
sap
Okay,
all the value.
Okay, so you get those 2 games. Here, I'll just pile these announcements left.
What was the VIS? Sorry.
It's like a multimedia player.
It was a multimedia player. It was kind of like what was that other one? That was 3DO. Yeah, 3DO. But we were developing for 3DO as well.
There's one.
There we go.
The Tandy the Tandy Memorex visual interactive system. They were
That's
only
crazy.
sold at Radio Shack.
Okay, so we were doing everything in-house up until a certain point where the company did what sadly a lot of Canadian companies do. At our first blush of success, they ran screaming south of the border and got a bunch of Americans to come up and take over the company and basically run it into the ground. So they, of course, took everything we had done and redid it because they know better. So this is the new box and packaging for their production, which, of course, you can see they use like every font, every logo, everything. They also rebranded everything as an iVenture. iVenture, right? Okay.
Can I see the front?
So, do they want to?
That's too many fonts.
Yes,
Ken.
it's too much everything.
What did they
So-
do? What did they do to your child?
Exactly. So, there's the game. There's the box. And like I said, we did 4 games. So this is the Vampire's copy. Oh, sorry. Is that me?
Excuse you.
Try that again.
It's never going to work the second time.
Oh.
There's
Okay, so that was the
fast
first
food coming
one.
through.
The second one was the last dinosaur egg.
I bet it was delicious.
It was. It was.
I make a big omelet.
The third one was the hypnotic harp, where he goes back into ancient Rome, and we learn all about Latin, how to speak Latin.
I want to figure out a way to emulate these.
And then finally was the cyberplasm formula.
Excuse me?
We called it, we used to say, the cyborgasm formula? That sounds vulgar. I don't think we should do that.
Cyberplasm?
Okay? So this is the, as much as we did with Victor and Yondo at Sanctuary Woods. However, they later sold the rights to another company called ESX Interactive Media, CD-ROM, Windows and Mac, Victor, and Yondo, The Last Dinosaur Egg, an interactive comic book adventure for ages 11 and up. If you're 10, don't even look at this. It'll just confuse and upset you. So you get one of those as well. Ta-da!
Just for reference, these boxes have Windows PC specs.
Please.
Wow.
You will need 386 SX or higher, 4 megs of RAM. Windows 3.1 or higher, CD-ROM drive. A hard drive stroke mouse. Super VGA 640 by 480, 256 colors, and a sound card.
Wait, hold on. A hard drive / mouse?
Yes.
Why are those on the same bullet point?
I don't know.
Why are those the same line item, Ian?
I don't know.
You've never had a hard drive that's connected to your mouse?
But wait, there's more. Lots more. So I thought, what the heck? Like, just to give some context, here's some other games that we did. Shelley Duvall's It's a Bird's Life.
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
She was an absolute delight to work with. We had a big barbecue when she and her boyfriend came up, and I was
like the Shelley Duvall we're thinking.
Yes.
The Shelley Duvall.
Okay.
So I was in the kitchen doing something, and Shelley was out there in the dining room with the kids. She was wonderful with kids, and she started doing olive oil. And I'm in the kitchen going, wait a minute, did we invite olive oil to this thing?
Yes, you did.
Right. Yes, we did. It was lovely. So that's another of their games. We also did.
Does she sing in this one?
I don't think so. We also did Oscar Wilde's The Selfish Giant with illustrations by the amazing Craig Russell.
How was Oscar Wilde with the kids?
Well, yeah, we channeled him.
Okay, all right.
How this wallpaper goes, or I do. I have nothing to declare about my genius. My favorite one is actually apparently when he was standing in the rain outside of Reading Jail, and he said to one of his captors, "If this is how Her Majesty treats her prisoners, she doesn't deserve to have any." We also got the rights to do Ripley's Believe It or Not. So we did, this is The Riddle of Master Lou,
How did they?
which I worked on very briefly.
What kind of game is this? How did you spin Ripley's Believe It or Not into
You
a?
had to go find, because Ripley was all about finding these artifacts that we put
It's
in
a
his,
point and click.
in his Did you ever play it?
No, I think I saw bits of it.
Yeah.
We remember bits and pieces. It's just like,
You're like
Mr. Ripley.
You play like an Indiana Jones character.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But you're Robert Ripley.
Huh. Outwit an evil nemesis.
Now here's by the way, here's another version. This is all right, just so you can see how much they screwed this up.
Historically accurate.
Here's our original version of the packaging, what we did in-house for Shelley Duvall's It's a Bird's Life, which was done by Andrew Pratt, my colleague there, who just did a magnificent job. And then this is what they did with it. So you can see, it's a... Anyway. By the way, not that I'm ragging on our good friends to the south, but there was a particular kind of executive who, the first thing they did, we were a Mac environment, and a very happy Mac environment. First thing they did was say, Macintosh, forget it! And they literally threw all the apples out and bought PCs, which meant we all cried. And
this is back when that difference meant something.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Anyway,
can you please take this back from me?
Thank you. And here's the last really fun one we did called Orion Burger.
Yeah.
Which was just this really goofy game full of aliens, and I never played it, so I don't know. I had left the company by this point.
Ooh,
but it says it's accelerated for a Power Mac, so anybody who has a Power Mac, it'll run really well on it. This one needs 8 megabytes of RAM, and it's not compatible with a RAM doubler. Ian, what's a RAM doubler?
Well, RAM doubler was a product from Connectix that was released during the early days of the PowerPC systems. What it would do is create sort of a virtual RAM disk on your disk.
Yikes!
And what it did in practice is just slow your computer down to the point of unusability.
Yeah. Awesome. Wasn't that was built into Mac OS at one point, the virtual memory?
Partially, but the Connectix system was a little bit more advanced and actually did work better.
Even though it slowed it down more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now this is for Graham.
Oh.
So he mentioned the Journeyman project.
Yes.
So, which was actually created by Presto Studios.
Yes, they were the developers, but Sanctuary was the publisher.
So this is the one that they did themselves, and this is a very special one, which is, there's 2 discs in here. One was from their open house on, what was the date on this? July 30th, this must have been 1992
That's etched
or 93.
onto the disc.
It's actually etched onto the disc.
Bruh.
And then this
That's
one,
amazing.
This one is a limited edition 50 discs that was signed by all the developers, all the guys at,
That's really
at Presto
cool.
Studios. So you get both of those.
I love German.
Because we went down and hung out with those guys in San Diego.
Yeah, they were playing Assassin at the time.
I just remember you and Raymond running around the studio because they had those giant Nerf
They had
bazookas
so much.
and
This
things.
was like the sort of nerd office Nerf war business.
Well, this is what we thought it was going to be like at Sanctuary Woods, because what these guys had done is it was a bunch of nerds, and they had rented a house in just some suburban tract house place, and they just all moved in and just made games, and they were just like all up all night, like just hacking, crunching code and making these amazing games and designing all this cool stuff. And then they sold their souls to Sanctuary. That was the end. And I thought I'd throw in one more, just because I had one more. This is
Can I show those? Someone's asking.
Yes.
Can I show those? Yeah, the German project stuff on Kevin.
So this is Isaac Asimov's The Ultimate Robot that my old pal Byron Price produced. And the illustration of this were actually done by the late great Ralph McQuarrie.
What?
So you would actually build robots and do stuff like that. So I thought I would throw this one in just to sweeten that pig a bit. And there's some beautiful illustrations.
Ralph, I made the design for Star Wars.
Yes, Ralph would not be a Star Wars then. So
how about them apples?
I could go on forever, and maybe I will. So we also have. So we've also got, oh my gosh, we have catalogs of Sanctuary's products. We have their catalog. We have flying things that
business cards. I
we
think.
have yes, we
Ken
have.
Steacy, art director. Is this your current phone number, Ken?
Maybe.
2 different home addresses.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We moved. We had to keep ahead of our creditors. So we moved. I'm kidding.
Are these bookmarks? What are these?
Oh yes, those are bookmarks that I created later on. So we have cell sheets. We have cell sheets for Dinosaur Egg. We have this is the original brochure that we did to, I think we did one of our initial public offerings that we did this. And you see, this is the old logo before I redesigned their logo. So we got a few of those. We also have this, the fanzine, the collector's fabulous first issue, the Vector Connector. And, shape the future. Go ahead, fill it out. It says so right here. So, send that in. This is all the news, everything you ever want to know about Schmichter, and Schmondo. So we got a bunch of those you can share with your friends.
Wow,
oh, here's
that was their old logo?
Yes. Isn't that the best?
Man, a CD.
Well, the funny thing was, the guy who ran the place, it was complaining that they had to choose a color for something or other. And it was, when people were just starting to use computer graphics. And the designer came back and said, all right, so you've got 256 million colors, and you chose this one. So here's iNews, which is like our little newsletter about what's going on at Sanitary Woods. Here's an actual piece of stationery, so you can write a letter to somebody and complain. So there's all that. Thank you. And also, gosh, how much fun is this? The Sanctuary Woods. This is the annual report. So we have the sell sheets. We also have all this really slick stuff with all these numbers and illustrations you've never seen before. And then you can read their balance sheets and see how much money they were losing.
There are people who collect these.
Oh, I know. The burn rate was incredible. So that's this is the 93, I think. And then this is the 92, which is a lot of fun because you can see the cover we have Victor and Yondo and he's pulling. See, isn't this clever? This is Ken being really clever. I always warn my students about that. Don't be clever. And then when you open it up, it goes, swing!
You made a pop-up?
We made a pop-up. And we did portraits of the principals, and here's all our fabulous products. We also had a wonderful thing by Trina Robbins called Hawaii High. So yeah, all kinds of information. Oh, also about all the wonderful gaming systems. And look at that! Look at the old Apple logo.
Awesome.
How cool is that?
The old 3DO logo.
Yes. And something here called MPC. Does that sound at all familiar?
MPC?
We have 3DO, VIS, and MPC. So, anyway. So again, here we can see the balance sheet. And my salary's in there somewhere. And I don't know why, but they put this weird illustration from one of the games of Victor and Yondo, like sailing off into the distance on a log. We'll get to that in a minute, folks. All right, so we got that, and what else have we got?
There's still more.
Well, there actually is. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, so the deal is that I knew that I was going to last. I signed a 2-year contract. I was going to last 2 years and 17 seconds. But I really believed what we were doing. I really believed in Vic and Yondo. I thought would be a fun thing, for these guys, and they were all coming over. And one of the great blessings of my life has been, Alex and Raymond and all their friends like you guys who would come over, and they would sit on the couch, which was right in front of my computer where I was working, and they would play computer games and video games and so on. And I do remember distinctly one of you saying, "Wouldn't it be cool to do this for a living?" And it's like, ha ha. And guess what he's doing for a living? So yeah, you were prescient. Yes. So I pitched them the idea right before I left. I pitched them the idea of licensing the characters that I had created and doing a 3-issue miniseries of comic. Now this is back in '94, before people just weren't doing that. So they said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So here is what I did. This is the 3-issue miniseries of the Victor and Yondo comic, which I wrote and illustrated with lots of help from Joan helped with coloring, and D.B. Benninger helped with coloring, and Steve Laylaw did some inking and so on. And so I thought, just to make it really extra special, these are two proof copies that we did on a color copier, just to see what the different kind of paper would look like. So there's 2 different kinds of stock. So these are absolutely unique press proofs of the first comic book. Oh, look, here's more of my clever business cards. Oh, by the way, we called the company Fractal Comics. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
So these are the clever business cards I did. which, as you can see, you can fold them, and they stand up. They also, they poke you and get bent.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not very smart.
Great sales pitch.
You can get these. They also hurt.
Okay, so there's the poster that we did as a kind of a giveaway, which I thought was, kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. So I found a few of those. So there we go. And then lo and behold, Applied Arts Magazine, this fantastic Canadian arts magazine, which isn't around anymore, excuse me. It was for illustrators and designers and so on. They found out what we were doing, and they did a really nice article on me.
Yay!
And there's a bit about Tempest Fugitive, which is another series I created, but they do a really nice article on the awesome adventures of Victor Yondo. So, and the comic that I did. And again, it's kind of weird, isn't it, that there was a time when this was news, like, oh, people are using computers to make artwork. Who would have thought of such a thing?
It's weird. There was a time when there were magazines about computers.
Yes. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah. Somebody said that this generation is the first generation that has never seen a pixel, because all monitors are so high resolution now.
Yeah, that's... Wow.
Yeah. Do you feel old yet?
Ask me again when I need to change this prescription.
All right.
Father,
Okay,
I
so
cannot
there's
click the book.
I haven't seen
there's
Pixie
that.
for months and different reasons.
So, do you think we should start some bidding? Because there is more, but I thought, it gets cooler as we go along. So I thought I'd give you like all the solid stuff. So that's all of the CD-ROMs,
Chlorine-free
all of the
high-yield
comic books, all of it.
What?
Okay.
There's an ad opposite your article for chlorine-free high-yield pulp.
Yikes.
Okay.
So what do you think?
That's my stage
Should we start some bidding and then like maybe pull out a few other things as we go along?
Sure, that sounds great. How are you doing over there in engineering?
All
right.
There, 2 thumbs up.
Well, then let's do it then. Let's open up the bidding.
Let's
So
open the bidding
so
up.
if you had to briefly summarize everything you just said,
it would be impossible.
This is the Victor, Vector, and Yondo.
This is the Victor, Vector, and Yondo
Sanctuary
massive,
Woods.
What? Artichokes?
What?
We already have a bid of $1,024. All right, going once, going twice.
No, $100. $1,200 from Dr. Goldfire. Null pull a ship with 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. I love it.
Okay, 1420, nice from Ika
All right.
over there.
This is according to the website, this is the Victor, Vector, and Yondo Big Blowout.
Big blowout. Everything you ever need to know about Victor, Vector, and
This is
Yondo.
basically everything Sanctuary Woods ever made.
And that I ever made as with Fractal Comics. And unbelievable value.
1,420.69. Nice.
Yay.
I was saying, but now Dr. Goldfire is back with $1,500. Terrible plan with a high bid of $1,600.
Well, let's. What do you say? If we can make it to 1750, I'll maybe pull out something else.
Well, hang on.
If we can make it to what?
1750.
1750.
What do you say?
Something else may appear. Well, we're up to
1660. Well, that's pretty good,
1661
that's
from Null Pull a Ship. Well, there you go. Cephas Hero with
Close enough.
1,700.
Close enough. Okay, so.
Whoa.
Well, there
Oh,
it
there
is.
it is. Yay.
1750 from Dr. Goldfire.
All right. So what we have here, we have my actual Fractal Comics badge that I wore at Comic-Con when we took Victor and Yondo down there.
Comic-Con International.
Comic-Con International. No, Comic-Con local.
What?
No, sorry. We have a Victor and Yondo button. We have a Sanctuary Woods keychain with my logo. And best of all...
Wait, there's 2 of them.
Yes. We have a... And please forgive me, this was back in the day. A His and Hers watch set. So we have the... I'm assuming this is supposed to be the men's and this is the ladies, but whatever. So these are actual real watches that you wind up and the hands go round and round.
1850 from Cephas Hero.
Victor and Yondo.
Can I show these off on the close-up?
Please do. There we go.
Goodness gracious.
I suspect that was a mistaken bid.
Yeah, we'll probably
yes.
rewind that one.
Yes, we'll rewind that one. We get it. No worries.
Look, 2 watches.
Holy quartz movement.
Yes, Terrible Plan has said that was a
1 extra 8.
1 extra 8.
Well, I guess I assume Corey's dealing with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steady
Okay.
Okur.
Yes, so that has now been reverted back to the
Cool.
Yes.
Gives
So
Thank
Terrible
you,
Plan, if you wanted to get
Sub-Zero. We're good.
1888 in there, you're welcome to do so. Meanwhile, over on Kevin, we have these 2 watches. Logo, timepieces by Infinity, it says on it. Look at the Victor Vector watches, that's so cool.
Okay, if we get to
1896
2000, we'll get the
Clockwork.
good stuff.
All right,
We're already there.
We got to 1896.
Okay.
So we're at 2000, you said, Ken?
Yeah, I'll start digging out the good stuff.
All right, so 2000, Ken started
This
to
is
take up the good
this is the
stuff.
The
appetizer.
good stuff.
Oh, there's
there it is.
2001.
Okay.
You were saying.
A Space Odyssey.
Yes, yes, yes.
2019 from Null Cola Ship.
Yikes. All right, what do we got in here?
Ikimi Kim with 204269.
Nice.
Right. Price type doesn't happen more often.
Oh dear. I know what bad is.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I know. Here's the actual logo for the Fractal Comics Company. This is a hand-drawn logo that I did for the company.
That's hand-drawn?
Yeah,
That
remember
is
before
hand-drawn.
Illustrator?
That is a photocopy on top, but the lettering there is hand-drawn.
Wow.
Let me see what else we got in here. Oh, I forgot about this. These are actual proofs of the cover of Cyberplasm. So we did 2 different color schemes. So you get a couple of proofs. Everything will be signed and/or personalized should you so desire. Thank you.
Actually, Alex, I'll let you handle the.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there's some spicy stuff.
There you go. Oh, wait a minute.
You drop something?
No. Oh, I know.
I am Clockwork in with 206969.
Yeah,
Nice,
if we get
nice.
to 2100, I'll start really pulling out cool stuff.
Terrible Plan has
easy.
decided
Okay.
that is
All
correct.
right.
You gotta set the leadway a little higher there, Ken.
Just
Alright.
a couple hundred more. Not
$50 billion. Okay.
Please, no, we need to go home.
All right. What do we got in here? Let's have a look.
Paper.
Paper.
I got his
Oh, I know. Look. Here's the actual airbrush logo for The Last Dinosaur Egg.
Ooh.
That's original airbrush artwork. Here is. Oh, this actually isn't by me. This is one piece that isn't by me. This is a background by Den Beauvais, who's an amazing illustrator. An airbrush illustration of one of the backgrounds from the Victor and Yando games.
Here, I'll.
So that's
wow.
an actual original. I remember we saw that picture of Victor and Yando on a log. This is the first time I tried to draw that, and I really screwed it up badly and had to redo it. So even I make mistakes.
You've even annotated it. Ugh.
Yes, because it was that bad. So
What's this option, Ken?
Hold on, I think we once again
don't know.
had a typo.
Don't want to know.
Vroom vroom.
Can we see if King of Cola?
Oh, that's
managed to
right.
do
That's
that?
right. It's the sniffing his butt.
Oh, we finally.
Yes.
We
Oh,
finally
here's
hit the
another
typo
airbrush
part.
illustration from the Hypnotic Harp. This is an illustration of Nero. That's Nero.
Tasty locks it with a high bid of 2110.
Yay.
The city burns.
Wow, did Nero like historically have such a metal harp?
Yes. Oh, this is kind of cool. These are the animation drawings that we did for.
Sorry, can we see Kevin
wow.
for just a second? Look at that! Look at this game.
Pretty cool, huh?
That was metal AF.
Yeah.
Can we say AF?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so these are the. Now this is so primitive. You know, we actually did had an animator do these animated drawings, and I had to trace them off and color them because all the artwork I thought.
Wait, are these the sprites?
Those are those are the sprites.
I love
forgot
those.
that word.
I love the little doggy run cycle.
Yes, thank you.
With the new high bid null cola ship of 2,222,2 and 22 cents.
These are
Wait, no,
these
I
are the
added extra
originals of sprites. This
Those
is
are the
amazing.
originals of sprites. Yes. Here's one more that I left out. This is very cool. This is from the Vampire's Coffin. This is one of the very first pieces of artwork I did. So that's the background of a door that Victor has to open, and here's the hand which went over top and pushed. And the way they made the door open was they simply squashed it. So it looks like, it's like swinging away. It was really cool. So those are both originals. And then here is the working drawing. So whoever gets this can keep the painting and give the working drawing away or something. There you go. All right, let's get some more bidding going on here.
Well,
there is more.
We're up to 22, 27, 77 from
Let's get up to 25.
All right, so next is 25.
25.
Okay.
If you'd like to start your own interactive media museum,
You've got it right here.
Yeah, wow.
I like that. You could do worse than this.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Look at this heap. It's so big. Chad is so worried about me. I'm doing fine, Chad.
Erica is focused.
I've got a tally.
There it is.
25,
there we
60.
go. All right. Okay, so now we're going to transition into the comics. So now we have moved beyond the interactive multimedia. So this is The Last Dinosaur Egg. So this is the first drawing I did for Last Dinosaur Egg, which was going to be the second game of the series. And then here's an overlay that I did for that. There we go.
Wow.
So then from there,
I get this to line
we
up.
did the comic book series, and what I have here are the roughs for the covers of issue 2 and issue 3. So you actually have the roughs of all 3 covers. This being on TV is a lot of fun. Ken is dating himself because he thinks that this is TV.
I mean, I still say TV all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
Suffix
When did Victor become cable?
Oh, you gotta read the comic, man. This is Dark Victor. He gets infected by a virus. Oh, I'm getting it right. Spoilers!
Spoilers! Oh, this is some good stuff.
2560 from Null Cola Ship, the current leading bid in the Ken Stacy Victor
Yes!
sorry, 2587 and 3 cents from
Nice.
Cephas Hero is the current leading bid for the Victor Vector and Yondo Ultimate Blowout.
Yes! And there's more to come.
There's more?
There's more. But wait, there's
And
more.
one more thing, Stacy.
Yes.
2600.
Alright, that sounds good. Alright, so here, why not this? You're gonna love this.
Oh boy.
This is the very first drawing I ever did of Victor and Yondo when I was pitching the idea to Sanctuary Woods.
This was the pitch?
This was the pitch. Wow. As you can see, I had no clue what a Saint Bernard looked like. Which is why I don't know what it looks like.
And this is before
it looks like a taper. Is what it looks like.
This is before he got that slim fit spandex suit.
Yes, yes.
A dog that doesn't know it's a dog.
Yes. The reason it was called Sanctuary Woods, by the way, was the principals in the company, the folks who started the company, bred Saint Bernards, and the lineage of their dogs was from a place in Europe called Sanctuary Woods, which is also a famous World War I battle. So how weird is that it all connects somehow?
Wow.
Anyway, so there we go. There's the very first drawing ever of Victor and Yondo, and for some reason I can't remember why, it has Velcro tabs on the back, so you can stick it on your wall.
Probably because it was part of a pitch project, wasn't it?
That was probably it.
Wow.
All right, how are we doing?
Yeah.
26. Are there still other
There are
things?
still
This is amazing.
a couple more things. Just a few.
And this
just
is,
a few.
to be clear, this is an original.
Yes, that is original painting I did.
That's definitely, whatever this is, he's adorable. He's definitely not a Saint Bernard.
I was gonna say, that is not an original.
Whoa!
that is
Excellent.
The original.
That is the original.
26,
That is it.
62, and 26 from Null Cola
Man.
Ship.
Can I suggest benchmarks of 2,800 and 3,000
Deal.
for the next 2 things
Okay.
that you
Because
add?
there's 2 more things left.
Okay, so
more
28 and
amazing
3,000.
His wife keeps bugging him to clean out the garage.
Gosh, joke's on you. We don't have a garage.
It's not my.
I mean, really,
but it's not my studio.
Really, it's you doing this. 26, 62, and 26 cents from Null Cola Ship, the current high bid for this amazing, just this amazing thing of all this.
So there we go, 2,800.
Terrible plan.
plan.
2,800. Someone say 28.
Okay.
Someone
so
did.
it was a 3-issue. It was a 3-issue miniseries. Okay. So I thought, what the heck? Let's have original pages from all 3 issues.
Whoa!
So these are all 2-page spreads. So this is a spread from issue 1, which includes Nikola Tesla.
I was gonna say.
Yes, who is a character who comes back later on and is very important. So we have all the principal characters
All the
here.
hand lettering.
And yes, thank you for noticing that. This was all inked with a brush, by the way.
What a pain.
Not a brush. No. It's
Man.
good. So that's from issue 1. This is from issue 2, where they go back to Depression era Chicago, and almost get run over by a flivver, by a bunch of gangsters. So 2-page spread from issue 2. And then finally a 2-page spread from issue 3, where the mysterious Mr. Tesla makes his return appearance.
I like Buddha as a sound effect. Buddha.
Buddha. It's not Buddha. It's Buddha.
It's very Satorian here.
All right. Okay, if we can get to $3,000, I will reveal the very last thing that no serious
What
Victor
could it
Yondo
possibly be?
fractal collector could live without.
Can you give us a hint?
No.
Can you give us
Terrible plan, $28.50. Null cola ship, $28.55 and 82 cents. I don't know why there's such
We're
strange
going
cents
we're
going
going
on.
for $3,000.
But I'm not complaining about it.
Because it's a palindrome. 285582.
Oh.
Team order Y.
Well played.
Give me chaos.
Is it a vial or a lock of Yondo's hair?
It's the sound of someone punching a big bag of Buddha. Wait, what?
So Ken.
Yes, hello.
You know what you can do?
What
if
can I
this is
do?
the last thing.
Yes.
You can tease with it and say it will only be included if we achieve 3,000.
Which is where we're at.
Is it?
Yes, we are. It
Well,
goes
that's
in
what,
at
that's what I'm
3,000.
saying. But we can show it off beforehand.
Should we do
that, do you
Go
think?
for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
See if this will push us into 3.
All right. It is.
And if
okay.
not, then we'll give Null Cola Ship a going once at $28.55.
It is this rubber band.
That's a big rubber band.
That is the
value,
biggest-
the tremendous value from this rubber band.
It
Erica,
is
make sure
indeed.
you write down giant rubber band.
Oh,
Very
don't
large.
do that.
What is it
almost-
actually?
Okay, so when we went down to Comic-Con, there's actually one more thing even after this. When we went down to Comic-Con, but I don't have it with me. So we had to do a big display, so we got a booth, and we had banners and so on. So I wanted to make a big splash, and so we made this banner.
Cool.
This is what hangs on the wall above the collection of fractal
This is-
comics.
Exactly, and it also has the
some
Velcro.
This is incredibly thick material. What is this?
It is. Well, this is made from. There's a meteor that crashed, and they harvested the material.
It's very,
Rolled
very
out.
firm.
It is. It will withstand practically anything.
Sorry, Ken, we're just obscuring your.
That's quite all right. That's quite
All right, so that'll go in if we get to $3,000.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I'm going to let go of this and allow you to. Great. In the meantime, let us give Null Cola Ship a going once
Yes.
at $2,855.82. Is Alex ever worried Ken will add him to a lot?
Oh, I thought
I
that
don't-
was.
Whoa! Terrible plan.
I thought that was- I thought that was
2,900.
understood.
2,900 from Terrible Plan, who is still very much in
This
this.
is still not there yet.
No, not there yet.
You
We
got
gotta
some-
get to.
there's
We gotta
some
hit 3.
There's some stuff that I would have framed. I
take it
tell you.
back. Museum? No, if you want to revive.
Yeah,
It's all here.
That's the last item. Is the actual intellectual property rights.
2,900. There
Yay!
it is.
Just shift
It
that
says
right
only
back on.
if Tasty Laksa with $3,000.
Got it.
We are going
Got
to
it.
stay Tasty Laksa with the going once. But I don't necessarily think that Tasty Laksa is going to carry this the whole way home because there are other people who were still bidding up to the end there.
There's also one more thing.
Okay, what is it?
All right.
And is it going in now, or is there
I'm
another?
gonna have to show you.
Is there another threshold?
Man,
Please.
Oh yes, there should be another threshold. The threshold is like $50 billion. So,
Okay. That's not a number.
What are you
How many
looking for?
Quatloos is that? I'm looking for the comments. Here we go.
So those are the proofs.
Where's the actual comments?
They're on the very bottom.
Ah. Oh, there we go. Good, good, good. Now, let's see. Which issue is it? Yes.
It's Ken's desperately
Ken's
searching.
rummaging here. I'm rummaging. Yes. Okay, so if you can make this out, can we zoom in a bit?
You're giving away a car?
Yes.
What?
The image we're zooming in on.
This is the Vector Vet. It is a 1959 Corvette that belonged to Brian Benninger, who's the CEO of the company.
Okay.
And so he wanted it decorated. He loved Victoriano, and he was a huge supporter. I greatly appreciate his support for the most part. So he wanted it decorated. So he commissioned 2 illustrations to be done, one on the hood and one on the trunk. And Dwight Lockhart, who was worked at St. Woods and was an amazing airbrush artist and pinstripe and so on, actually painted, airbrushed the 2 illustrations I had done onto the car. And Brian drove the car down to San Diego, and that's our booth, as you see. And there's the Fractal logo right there, and so there it is. So I have no idea where the car is now and whether those illustrations are still on it. But years later, I thought, gee, I love that car and I love the illustrations. So I actually bought a 1/18 scale model. It's about this big.
Wait, can we come back to the room?
Took it all apart and modified it so it was exactly like that. And then I made custom decals and put the decals onto the car and put, it also had these like blue pinstripes that sort of had these little flares at the end, so it looked like little, you know,
this big,
bits
you
of
said?
energy, about that big, 1/18 scale. So years ago, I gifted it to Dwight Lockhart, who had done the actual illustration. So I called him and I said, listen, I'm doing this auction. Would you consider donating it to Desert Bus? And he agreed. Unfortunately, it has not arrived in time to actually show it off, but it is really, really cool.
That's amazing.
So it is a metal die-cast car. You can actually open the hood and look in. But of course, the cool thing is it has Victoriano on the hood and on the trunk. So that is the big last final. So
terrible plan with the. There was another bid in there, but terrible plan with the current high bid of $30.60. That's amazing. Wow.
Now,
so what is our
is there
what
a
is our
target
threshold for that?
Well, I was going to say 3,500, but I don't know. Could that be optimistic? What do you think?
I feel like adding
I don't know.
a
You don't have
1/18
to include
scale,
it. Yeah.
I
like
think so.
die-cast metal.
Yes, one of a
actual
kind
car.
that I actually like.
The
I took it apart.
the
stripped it
Vector
down.
Vet, you said it's
The
called?
Vector Vet.
That does
That's-
feel like it needs to go at
That's
least to
cool.
3,500.
That's amazing.
Customized by Ken, one of a kind Stacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ken is now reaching into other people's collections. That's a good point. All
I
right.
figure it's time to pass the torch to.
All right. So,
Locks is out. You saw
fair
that
enough.
go by.
And there will, believe me, there will be no judgment if we do not hit that goal.
Yes.
Because $3,060 is in and of itself already fantastic.
Yes, indeed.
And to Terrible Plan, that will be going once. Going once, a Terrible Plan. There it is. Cool.
Cephas is also out.
Oh,
No worries. Oh, we gotta wait for a
Never
gotta,
take
gotta,
a shot.
gotta wait for new music to kick in.
Bottom of the screen.
There we go. All right. Terrible Plan. $3,060. What great music.
yeah, no doubt.
This Cuphead is. Oh,
Well, I don't know. It's
We're
been a
going
while.
to say
Should we say
going twice.
Going twice.
Oh!
That's
nice.
back to Monad
I'll put
Burrito.
this back down.
Very nice. Yeah.
Monad Burrito with $30.99.99.
You sound like Stephen Colbert.
The current, thank you. The current leading bid now. I think we're gonna give Monad Burrito
Going once.
the going once.
All right.
I think we have hit the point of, did you get the high bid? You get to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monad burrito, my old frenemy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's so passive aggressive.
Kirk, old friend.
The smack talk from our bidders is always incredible.
See, doesn't it? Sure was. Now the question is Terrible Plan still in it? I think we should all find out together when we give Monad Burrito the going, yeah, okay.
Yes! Let's give Terrible Plan going once, I think.
Yeah. Going once, a Terrible Plan for $3,150. We've returned. The ball is now back in Monad Burrito's court.
No!
Cola Ship! We are getting there.
Null Cola Ship, who was quiet while people were saying they were no longer in it, is apparently still in it with 3210. Null Cola Ship.
Remember, every single thing there, I will sign. I'll personalize them too, if you so desire.
Don't breathe on it.
Yes. Now remember, if I personalize things and decide to resell it someday, you have to find someone with your name.
It makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
All right, Null Cola Ship, 3210, going once.
Yep.
So on the ball's way back to Monad Burrito's court, Terrible Plan is now also in the same court. This analogy is crumbling wildly.
It's a bizarre court.
That sounds like a great name for a band. Crumbling
Wildly, yeah.
Crumbling analogies.
That were the crumbling analogies. We're gonna give Null Cola Ship a going twice.
Whoa!
Oh! Terrible Plan with 32, 55, 23.
We're gonna hit 35.
I'm going once for Terrible Plan.
I agree with you.
Whoa!
Yes. How about it going once for Monad Burrito?
Yes. 33, 33, 32.
Ooh, the chaos.
Can't let Team Order get away with this.
Yes.
Now we're so close.
Yes.
I love
So close to the car going in.
The steering works on this car. You can actually turn the wheel.
I gotta do a lot of like knee stuff during auction time, or else my head gets cut off. All right.
I keep worrying that I'm gonna poke my head on that 30 thing. Ow! Ow!
Are our other two bidders still in this? Let's find out when we give Monad Burrito the
They
are.
Yeah.
33, 44, 55. That's very orderly. If we want to stop Team Order, then we gotta do something about it. Going once to Null Cola Ship.
I appreciate that figuring out the delay just to always cut you off.
New high band.
Terrible Plan.
Yeah.
3,400 from Terrible Plan.
Going once.
We have three bidders who are not backing down, and I love it.
This song is legit. What is this?
Null Cola Ship, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8 cents.
I love it. I love it.
Fantastic.
Going once.
Thanks, Jordan. I keep forgetting.
It's all good. You've been talking a lot.
That's okay. I have
You have mystical.
I have a jar of mystical talking
You have
power.
the secret voice.
It's amazing.
Performer. Oh yes! The chaos Monad Burrito going once.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
My favorite chaotic burrito.
Don't forget, there is a $5 minimum increase.
Somebody mentioned Trololo Man.
That's amazing.
A
brand new old
Okay.
car.
Let's go on.
Terrible Plan going once, 35.05.
This lot is officially stopped.
I got another whole thing to do.
We put the car in the lot and we're taking all wheels off the auction.
Terrible Plan, 35.05, going twice.
Oh, I'm getting ready for that big game.
Is Null Cola Ship still in this? Is Monad Burrito still in this? Monad Burrito's limit was 3,500. They are out. Well played, they say.
Well done.
Gracious in
Thank
defeat.
you,
Thank you,
Monad
Monad Burrito. Is Null Cola Ship still around? I don't know.
Did Matt
but what I
bash
do
the
know
bus again?
is that Terrible Plan has gone one once and twice.
What do you say?
Words tumbling out of my head.
Before I do this, so what is the delay from the time that people watch this?
We tell them to watch the chat.
Yeah.
And not
okay,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Delay's only about 3 seconds.
3
So
seconds.
I think you can take this.
Well, let's
home,
do
Ken.
that. Let's give them the benefit of that. We'll give them 10 seconds. We'll count down 10.
Go for it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, terrible plan. That was an excellent plan. That was not a terrible plan. That was an excellent plan. All right.
It was a phenomenal plan.
I'm gonna take off my sweater.
Past you here.
Do you want a hand, Ashley? With all that? No? Okay. Ken's going to come over and...
That goes in there. See, this goes... It's amazing how to see it nests.
Yeah, boy.
We have 15 minutes left. Corey, I don't know if you have the graphic handy, but we have 15 minutes left on the giveaway for the Ken Steacy Monochrome Color Sketch Commission. These are examples
It's
of...
up to $416,252. That's great. That's wow. I'm really pleased. Right?
Pictured here are examples of previous sketches Ken has done for past Desert Bus winners.
Yes.
This is what Ken considers a sketch.
Yeah.
And we saw some shots earlier of ones that he is currently working on or has recently completed for other Desert Bus winners. So definitely $8.11 is well worth the chance to win one of those. We'll be drawing that winner in about 20 minutes time. So check that out. That'll be fun.
All right.
So Ken, what's the other item? The other lot. Let's not assume there's going to be a single item in this.
No, let's not make any assumptions.
No.
What was the question? Oh yes.
What you got going on?
What I got going on?
Yeah.
This is what Ken considers a sketch. Man, how many nicknames do you have?
At least 5,000, I think.
Perfect.
I've got a lot of nicknames. Yes. Okay, so I have been.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
Now remember, I have to take those and sign them all. So thank you.
Oh, we've been
You're
through
welcome.
this before.
And do let me know if you want any of those personalized. I would be absolutely delighted. Okay, so I have been blessed with working with all kinds of wonderful authors, with Douglas Copeland and Harlan Ellison and Tina Robbins and Ray Bradbury and Isaac Asimov. And so it came as a wonderful surprise and delight when 2 years ago I got a call from the Globe and Mail, from the editor of the Globe and Mail, Brian G. And it was Canada's 150th birthday. So they asked a bunch of Canadian authors to write a short story about a period in Canadian history that they found of interest. And they could write about anything they wanted. And Margaret Atwood, none other than Margaret Atwood, had done this lovely, I'm trying to think of enough adjectives to describe, adequate adjectives to describe this lovely story that she wrote that takes place on VE Day, on Victory in Europe Day, when was VE Day? March of 45. Is it March? I should know this. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. So the story concerned a fictional Canadian comics company in Toronto. And the story takes place over about 15 minutes, about 15, 20 minutes. And the conceit of the story is that...
May 8th, by the way.
Sorry?
May 8th.
May 8th, okay, thank you. The conceit of the story is that this little comics company has been doing very well with a title called Ursinette. And Ursinette is a werebear. She is a francophone superheroine who punches out Nazis. And she is the creation of a young guy named Alain. And Alain is this kind of nerdy, dorky kind of guy who is trying to do something to make a contribution to the war effort. Because remember, imagine during periods of total war, like if you were not somehow involved in the war effort, you were suspect. And of course, Margaret had established that he had flat feet and asthma and so on. So he couldn't serve under arms. And he desperately wanted to do something because he has 2 older brothers who are serving. And so what he does is he comes up with this character and he pitches it to this little comics company in the hopes that they will sell these comic books and they will, it'll be good for morale. And the thing to remember about that most people don't know is that Canada had its own comics industry during the war. So what happened was this thing was enacted called the War Exchange Conservation Act in about 1942 or thereabouts. It embargoed certain goods coming up from the United States, including unnecessary goods like comic books. So suddenly there were no comic books. And a number of publishers, 4 of them in fact, 1 in Vancouver, 2 in Toronto, and 1 in Montreal, started publishing comic books. So we had Brock Windsor, and Nelvana, the Northern Lights, and Johnny Canuck, and so on. And they did fairly well. And not only were they, they were exciting stories, and there were all kinds of comics. There were sports comics, and there were funny animal comics, and there were war comics, and superhero comics, and science fiction comics, you name it. But they were also, in some ways, the beginnings of fandom, because people would write letters, and they would put their addresses in the letters, and people started communicating with each other. And a lot of it was ways that kids could say, well, I live in Hamilton, and I'm going to do a scrap drive, so anybody else who lives in Hamilton, contact me at this address, and we'll get together, and we'll get a bunch of pots and pans together, and we'll build another Spitfire or whatever. So it was a really interesting way that they built community. It wasn't just like they were entertaining, they were actually building community and making a contribution, a positive contribution to war effort. So anyway, so to get back to the story, on VE Day, of course, it looked like the war in the Pacific was still raging, but once that was over, they knew the war would end, the War Exchange Conservation Act would be pulled or rescinded or whatever, and American comics would come flooding back in, and they would wipe us out. And that's exactly what happened. 18 months after VE Day, all 4 of those companies went out of business. Or I think one carried on for a while reprinting American comics, but that was it. And it was 30 years before we started making comics in Canada and publishing comics in Canada again. And happily, we're doing more of that, more in graphic novels than in comic books. Though there are a few publishers extant right now. So anyway, so everybody's celebrating. Except the land, because, and he feels terribly conflicted and terribly guilty because, the war is over and, everybody's coming home and we're going to build this new future and so on, but he's devastated because the thing that was nearest and dearest to his heart is about to just evaporate. And his boss, Gloria, who's a very hard-nosed businesswoman, she's delighted because comics were just a stopgap. She just wanted to exploit this opportunity, and now that the war is going to be over, the reward for Canada surviving the Depression and then the Second World War was going to be conspicuous consumption. Everybody was going to be buying TV sets and cars and washing machines and stuff, and they were going to have more work than they knew what to do with. I mean, this fictional comics company called Canoodle Comics, they were a advertising agency before that, and they're going to go right back to advertising. And the last word in the story is where Gloria says to Alain, so, can you draw, washing machines and, smiling housewives with, kissy lips and, getting their laundry whiter than white and that kind of stuff. He's like, I guess so. It's like, because it's going to be big in this advertising. There's this new thing coming along called television. It's going to be huge. So the story ended there, and it's an incredibly bittersweet story. And so, like I say, the art director asked his partner, who is a brilliant educator and academic named Dr. Gillian Grove, who do you think I should get to do this illustration? And bless her soul, she said, well, Ken Steacy, of course. So I'm eternally in their debt. So I did the illustration. And that would have been it. I was just so honored to have done this illustration for Margaret's lovely story, which appeared in the July 1st issue of the Globe and Mail. I was at Center Spread, and that would have been it. But the story got its hooks in me. It would not let go. It's like we've all had this experience where you finish a book or you walk out of a movie or a play or something, and you go, what happened next? Like, what happened before? How did they get here? And which is why there's so many sequels and they're so popular to varying degrees, of course. But I love the story, and I wanted the backstory. I want to know what did happen before, what happened next, and so on. So I contacted Margaret through the editor, and she responded right away, and I said, I'd really like to explore taking this further. And she said, what have you got in mind? And so I literally sat down, and the next 2 days I hammered out a synopsis for what I imagined the story would be. And we had a lovely afternoon where we reviewed the story and threw some ideas around, and she said, great. And she had just come off doing Angel Catbird with the amazing Johnny Christmas. And she said, well, do you think we should pitch it to Dark Horse Comics? Like, Daniel Shaban is my editor there. And I said, that'd be a good idea. Yes, thank you.
That sounds nice, yes.
And so she did. She said, here's what's going on. And like 15 minutes later, Daniel emailed me and said, hello, yes, can we have this, please? I said, sure. And that was that. I mean, it was like one of the easiest, it was like falling off a log. Not like that Victor Vector falling off a log. No, it was absolutely wonderful. So the script of the, they decided to do it as a 3-issue miniseries. I had originally imagined this as a graphic novel. They wanted to do it as a 3-issue miniseries. But so Margaret was, I had 3 story conferences with Margaret. She oversaw all the scripts and just made sure that everything was copacetic. And she was an absolute joy to work with. During one of the conferences that I had with her, I have no idea where this came from. It was like completely unbeckoned, but somehow it tied into the conversation. She started talking about grain. She said, well, grain is very important because, agriculture, if you can produce grain, then grain can be harvested and siloed. And if you can silo it, then you can tax it. And if you can tax it, that leads to the rise of a city-state. If you have a city-state, then you can have governments and standing armies. And if you have that, then you can go and take somebody else's grain who lives in the next valley, and that creates international conflict and so on. And I'm just sort of sitting there going, yeah, So it was, again, she was an absolute joy to work with, and one of the most agile minds, one of the most indefatigable people I've ever met. She just has more energy.
It's a good
than
$5 word.
Thank you. It has more energy than all of us here put together. And she's just about to turn 80. What? So yes, so she's incredible. So at the same time, she was Renee No, another extraordinary visual storyteller who's local, was doing the adaptation of The Handmaid's Tale, which is an absolute stunner. Unfortunately, we did a 3-issue miniseries, and then the graphic novel came out the same month as The Handmaid's Tale, which got a lot of attention, and well, it should. I mean, because it was a killer, and of course,
it's weirdly relevant.
Yes, well, that's the thing. That's why Margaret did The Testaments, which is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, because events, as she always maintained, there's nothing that happened in The Handmaid's Tale that did not have was predicated by something which had actually happened in somewhere in the world, and the same with the Testaments, because it's becoming more and more relevant, as Alex just noted. So anyway. So the cool thing was, when we'd finished it, I had made a decision right away that I was going to do all the artwork traditionally, which means I was going to do painted artwork. And there'd be 2 parts, that there would be the actual ongoing story of Canoodle Comics and Alain pitching the idea to Gloria and his studio mate Mike, who's just like, doesn't really care what he draws as long as he's employed, and so on and so on and so on. And then there are the Ursinet sequences. So we actually see Alain creating the character Ursinet, and then we see the adventures of. And it was really fun to do because I had to do it in a totally different style. And remember back in the 40s, comics were brand new, and storytelling was it was all over the map. People were just they hadn't really formalized yet the structural language of visual storytelling. So it was great fun to play around with that and make comics, that were again both the ongoing narrative
in full color, and then the black and white comics where I got to channel this young guy. And at first I thought, I'll do it with my left hand because my character, he's supposed to be like in his late teens or early 20s. And in many ways he was based on a wonderful gentleman named Jerry Lazar, who actually did start drawing comics when he was, I think, 15 or 16 and did it for years. But anyway, so I thought, no, I'll just assume that he's a prodigy. He's really good. I said, sorry. I just could not do it any other way than how I knew how to do it. So there you go. So this past September, because I had always had it in mind to do a show of the original artwork. I know I'm preaching the choir here, but we all know that comics are art and they are literature, but within a certain sphere. But there are other sectors of culture and the arts and so on who haven't got the memo yet. And so anything we can do to kind of kick open that door and say to people that this is legit. I mean, I remember years ago saying, when a Norman Rockwell or a Frank Frazetta sells for $1 million or in the collection of the Whitney, then the world of fine art will start paying attention that quote-unquote illustration is art and it has cultural relevance as much as any abstract expressionism or color-filled painting or performance art or whatever. And this is what really bugs me too, by the way, is that when I was in art college, there was this ridiculous divide between fine art and commercial art, and they all kind of sneered at each other on the other side of this absurd divide. And the thing is, like, we all make imagery, and we all tell stories through our imagery, and and we all have clients. I mean, anybody who makes a living creating imagery is a commercial artist by definition. And there's nothing more sacred or more profane about either one. It's like some are really, I like IYY as much as I like, Jack Kirby. It's all the same to me. And prove me wrong. Where's
don't do that.
Oh, sorry. We don't have enough time. You're right. So anyway, I had 10 years ago, I had a show in the Winchester Gallery, which is a wonderful, wonderful space here in Oak Bay. And so I immediately pitched them the idea of doing a show, but I thought, listen, Margaret has collaborated with two other amazing visual storytellers, Renee No and Johnny Christmas, and I said, how about we have a show of all three of us? And they were very amenable to that, so the show was in September, and it was wonderful, and we timed it so that Margaret was actually there for the opening, and I'm deeply grateful to her for making the effort and making an appearance. It was just, it was like one of those just shoot me now kind of moments. So anyway, there we go. Am I supposed to auction some stuff off there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, where are you going with this?
I don't know. I'm just blathering. Oh, there we go. So
that was great. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. So,
but that brings us now to
the auction.
The auction. The auction. The
2 of 2.
Margaret Atwood Ken Steacy auction. So the first thing I brought along, of course, I thought we have to start here. So this is. Oops. So this is the original. This is the newspaper. This is the July 1st, 2017. And this is Margaret's original story and my original illustration that I did for Ursinette, which is the story which became War Bears. Okay? So now, this isn't signed, but it will be signed by me.
Do you have a newspaper with a date on it that proves that that's the correct?
It's actually on the paper.
Okay, good.
Yes. So I thought it might be fun to add to that. This is the actual working drawing for that illustration. Okay? Now, the original of that illustration is actually I gifted to Brian and Jolene, who, like I say, are essentially responsible for all that's happening. But I did hang on to this for this very reason. So you get the original, and then I wasn't sure how I was going to produce the artwork, so I did some tests. So these are digital outputs that I then inked. So these are actual original inks. As I tried various different line techniques.
There we go. These, yes.
So there's 2 of those.
As you can see, they match up. And I don't have it with me, forgive me, but I will be, including the lot, will be a giclée of that illustration. Now, remember, because, sorry, this picture of Alex. Because the image was printed on newsprint, it looks a little dull. It's kind of the ink gets sucked up into the paper. So I'm going to do a giclée, which will be very, very sharp and very, very crisp, but it will look almost as good as the original.
Very, very quickly, just because she has to run for a ferry, Sonia would like to say goodbye.
Yeah, we're just going to hop on.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything.
This is my partner, Sonia. She just wanted to say goodbye, Desert Bus.
Bye.
She went back to Vancouver.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thanks
Love
for
your
hanging
hair.
out.
Bye, everybody. Have a really great week. I'll be watching from home.
Thanks for coming and all your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, careful.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Alrighty. So there's that. So that's I think that's where maybe we should start it.
All right, so.
And then there's a few other things in here.
This is the Ken Steacy, Margaret Atwood, Warbears.
So at this point
Ursinette.
it's Ursinette. So we're just starting with Ursinette.
Okay.
And then it
So
turns
we can see
into
on Kevin, we have, it's all of that and a giclée print of the one from the newspaper.
Yes.
Okay, that's what's currently in there.
That's what's currently in there.
All right.
So let's start
Shall
bidding
we
at-
start things going?
Let's start things going.
All right, let us get cracking on this auction.
Get cracking. Isn't that a giant sea beast?
Yep.
Get me a kraken. Get me a large squid somehow.
One kraken, please.
I'll get Dr. Manhattan on the phone.
Philip McCracken. Can,
Oh, there we go.
can we start?
Yep.
Please?
Yes.
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 There it is.
There we go.
Cool.
We got
Awesome.
there.
Whoa!
$1,000 from Narius. 2187 from Viral Stitch.
To save Gornari.
There. What the?
Free the lilacs.
What the?
Amazing.
Two. Bill.
Whoa!
2,500 from
I
Lord
like
Crusher.
it. I like it.
Sorry, Carpsman, we've somehow eclipsed that already. Don't forget, watch the chat, not
Watch
the
the
screen,
chat.
because we are on a slight delay. which
And
could
pace
be-
yourselves,
it could be
there
more or
is
less
more to
depending on
come.
where you're at. Well, we're already at 2,500, Ken.
So should we show some more stuff?
I think we should show some
I
more
show
things.
some more stuff. Okay. All right. So, like I say, it was a 3-issue mini-series. So, issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3. Okay.
So you do get all the
You
comics.
do get all the comics, and you also get these fabulous prints
Oh.
of the cover without all the type and so on. So
Ooh.
one. Oops. Wait a minute. Oh,
I just heard thunderous footsteps coming in.
awkward. There we go. Oh no, it's
That's Victor Yondo.
Fighto.
Crossover?
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, here it is. There we go.
I'll grab one.
26.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
excited for the Ken Steacy
Oh,
cinematic universe.
Thank you. There we go.
EJGR
Gunner, 2,600.
with
All right.
$2,600.
Okay, so that is the 3-issue mini-series, but there's more.
What if I want them all in one place?
What if you wanted all of them?
26, 66, and 66 cents from
I like
Viral
it.
Stitch.
Hey, if we hit 27.50, I've got something else.
Oh, you heard it here
Oh.
first, chat.
Where else are they going to hear it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Somebody just phoned me and said.
I mean, to be fair, if they're
You're
paying
not-
attention
you're
to
not-
chat,
You're not wrong.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
Tomorrow on 80 Cool News.
there we go, 27.50.
750 from
All right.
Tractor Blind. What remix is this?
So this is the graphic novel. This is the hardcover. And I gotta tell you, when I was doing the 3rd issue, I got a call from my editor and said, okay, so how's the hardcover coming? I said, well, what are you talking about? I'm working on the 3rd issue. And he said, well, you gotta do the hardcover right now. I said, well, wait a minute, the hardcover's not coming out until the spring. He goes, yes, it's being printed in Asia somewhere, so it has to come here on a boat. That means we need it like in a couple of weeks. I'm like, ah! So I finished the artwork of issue 3, and then I had to design and create this. Now, they had a wonderful designer at...
that is cool end paper.
They had a beautiful designer there.
We'll show this off on Kevin in a moment.
And I worked on their with their template. Changed a few things. I mean, I really wanted to have the duality that is Ursinette. Ursinette is she's a francophone werebear, right? And their castle. Sorry. So I wanted to add the fleur-de-lis and the maple leaf as glyphs, and there are a few things I didn't change. Oh, this is interesting. This is signed, and it says, "Thanks, all best, Margaret Atwood."
Oh!
So this is signed by Margaret Atwood and me.
What a thing!
It's a thing. So this came all the way from Toronto. So again, the graphic novel, this is the thing of which I'm most proud that I've ever done. So this has a foreword by Margaret and myself. It then has an introduction by Trina Robbins and historian Ivan Kochmarek. And it has the entire 3-issue miniseries. And then in the back here, it has an afterword by Margaret and myself. It also has some development drawings, including a drawing of, at one point in the story, Ursinette changes into a bear before she becomes a werebear. And so I did this drawing of her in her costume where she's saying, "Nazis, I really hate those guys." And I titled the piece, "Ursa Not." So, and here you can see what the illustration looked like, the original illustration.
Thanks too much, by the way, with $28.88
Oh,
and
good.
88 cents,
Nice.
the current high bid.
Yeah. You got what might be my new favorite nickname, by the way.
Which is?
Ken buries the lead, Stacy.
Is that berries or berries?
Yes. Ken really hates Nazi Stacy. That's my new favorite.
A bold stance. Can we put that on?
Hang on.
Oh, sorry, there's more.
Okay, so here's the illustration, and you will get a giclée of this. But here's also the story again, and it includes the 2 spot illustrations that they did that were only online. And then these are the monochromes and the full color versions of the 3 covers. Okay, so it's a fabulous book, if I do say so myself. And then you get some advertising for other fabulous books for publishers.
Burying the lead again.
There we go. All right, so there you go, signed. Take it away.
That graphic novel is beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really gorgeous.
It could be yours.
I'm gonna have to use that.
I love that end paper.
Yeah, there it is.
Sorry, I think everybody's worrying. I have a pimple on my eyebrow, and it's driving me crazy. I'm fine, don't worry.
Yay!
$28.99 from Viral Stitch.
I need to go to the Valley and buy some comics. It's been too long. Absolutely. The Valley is a great store in Toronto. Also Legends here in Victoria.
Oh yeah, Legends.
Good comic shop.
And Curious, Curious is awesome too, and Yellow Jacket. They're all great.
So, 28.
Ken, my son has a pimple. Stacy. Alex, it's just a pimple. I'm fine.
$28.99.
Air Force One.
99
Yeah.
cents. The current leading bid from Viral Stitch.
Okay.
Thanks too much.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
almost 3,000.
29.
Hey, let's hit 3,000 and I'll dig something else out.
Well, Viral Stitch is back with
$29.99.
$29.99.
You might want to set that threshold higher.
Well, hang on. What do we got over here? Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
What's this now?
What is that?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
So this now.
What's all this in? What's all this in?
I think of anyone in the room, you're the most likely to know what it is. Do we ever release a playlist of auction music? No? No.
I keep it secret.
Same with the dance. So you keep Actra off your tail.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hello.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh. How?
Now, if I was Penn or Teller, I would disappear behind this. Okay, so this is my banner. That when the book first came out, this is the banner that I would take to comic convention. So it is on a very heavy material. It's washable. You can wipe it off with a damn pop if you happen to. Yes, it's heavy vinyl, completely opaque, and it has grommets in it so that you can hang it up.
And that goes in if we get one more cent than this bit?
Yes, one more cent, you get this. Otherwise,
which really means
it's going
$5 more than this bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There
I mean, I don't really know how we put that on Kevin, but give it a shot, I
I
suppose.
don't think we can.
Yeah,
but
it's
we-
probably not critical.
No, I think enough of it was seen.
Yeah. That's true, you could use it.
Hey!
Whoa! That was a $200 jump!
Nice.
Thank you, Lord Crusher. $3,200.
No.
I'm sorry. 33, 33, 32 from Viral Stitch.
Whoa, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Annabelle because he danced with it. Oh, it's after 8 o'clock. I gotta go. So it's supposed to be here till 8, right? Night, everybody.
I guess.
So long.
Okay, auction's off.
That's it. There we got it. I haven't had my beef bourguignon yet. I was promised beef bourguignon.
Be real with me. Is there more?
Yes.
What's our
There
what's our threshold for more?
Threshold for more would be.
How many stages of more are we on?
Not
Like
a
5
lot.
or 6,
not
my
a
dude.
lot. What do we got? What are we at now? 3,500. Actually, here, let's. What if we were to throw in an original page?
Hold on.
Signed by Margaret Atwood.
Oh!
And yours truly. It's actually signed by Ken Steacy, not yours truly. But. So this is one of the Ursinet pages from issue 1. Actually, can I get the graphic novel back?
Yes.
I can actually show you
The
this.
hardcover or the...
The hardcover, please. Alex, would you mind? Thank you. So this is...
Lord Crusher up to 3,400.
There we go. That's the original.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. It caught me off guard. Came out of nowhere.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who gets like schmucks on the inside.
Yes. Yes. I do.
Auction seller.
Yay!
Oh shit.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
I love it.
Yes! Yeah! Amazing.
Okay.
Chaos!
34, 56, 79 from Viral Stitch.
I think we can do better. Maybe if we added like a second page.
Are you setting a threshold for that? Or is
Yes.
that already in?
3,500.
I thought we set the threshold.
Oh,
for that
sorry.
one at 3,500.
Just to make sure. Just to make sure. So this is from issue 2, and this is one of my favorite sequences. Here, Alex. Thank you. This is the fun thing about doing this kind of comics was that there was an unbridled enthusiasm and lack of restraint in storytelling, as realistic as that may be. Yay!
Yay, Lord Crusher,
So
3,500.
in this one, Ursinet is with the Royal 22nd, the regiment, the storied Vandus, and they're approaching the Deventer Bridge in Holland. And actually, this is kind of interesting. In this sequence, Margaret's lifelong partner, Graham Gibson, who very sadly passed away a couple months ago, his father served with the Canadian Army, and I wanted to honor him and put him in the story. So this is him right here, and he's giving advice to Field Marshal Montgomery about how to proceed. So I gave this page to Graham.
Are you able to point that out on the close-up
Yes,
camera?
I can do that.
Okay,
yeah.
great, thank you.
So anyway, so the sequence right after that is that they had a really hard time, and it was one of the first times that the Luftwaffe actually fielded jet aircraft in the Second World War. So I have a sequence here where they're being pinned down by these tanks. So Ursinet grabs the barrel of this tank and pulls the barrel off, and as one of these jet wonder weapons is attacking, she swings the barrel around like a cricket bat, hits the tank, which then collides with the ME-262, and they blow up.
Viral Stitch.
So
35 says, I will play order when it suits me.
You were the chosen chaos.
But that's quite chaotic.
They are.
That's the most chaotic.
Yeah.
They are. All right.
All right. Viral Stitch currently leading with 35, 35, and 35 cents.
Can I send this over?
I think batting a tank in a jet is like the most World War II superhero comic thing you can do.
Thank you, thank you. I thought long and hard about that. I was like, Ka-tang! I love the sound of it.
Physics checks out. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, we're sitting nicely at 35, 35, 35. So, Ken, unless you're going to tell me something else, I'm going to start beginning the going once proceedings.
Let's do the going once.
All right.
But there's like,
There's crew grands in there.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have something else, then you should set a threshold for it and show it off.
Let's go to. Let's see. I want to see this because this one. Should I tease it?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
So we have 2 black and white pages. One from the first Ursanet story. One from the second Ursanet story. So that's from issue 1 and issue 2. But from issue 3, how about a full color page?
Ooh.
So 3600. Very nice.
36 from Lord
So this
Crusher.
is really special because, Alex, if you please. So issue 3, the first 5 pages of issue 3 are pretty much chapter and verse Margaret's original story from the Globe and Mail. So it starts here, where it's VE Day, everybody's celebrating. Alain is looking at the paper and he's despondent, and he in each chapter he's sort of imagining that Ursanet is kind of following around or tickling him or something like that. So everybody was absolutely ecstatic, and I also, you may note here that I did a teeny tiny version of the original illustration in the background. So the idea is there's all this paper and there's all the newspapers, and then there's a copy of Ursanet, like as it just appeared with all the paper. So this is the sequence where he goes into the restaurant and everybody's celebrating, including Gloria and Mike, and he's really upset. And so we get to see the original story fully illustrated by Bruce Truman. So this illustration has our entire cast of characters. So here's Alain, here's Gloria, his boss, and his pal and fellow comic book artist, Mike McKenzie, who, as he says here, wait a minute.
Ken, you're going to have to go frame shopping Stacy.
Yes. So I love this, and again, this is Margaret. He says, Alain says, Mike, why are you eating that? And Gloria says, because he's hungry. He's always hungry. He's a growing boy. And Mike says, I'm getting back in shape as a carnivore. Now that the war's over, we're going to see a lot of meat, an explosion of meat. It'll be like someone dropped this enormous meat bomb. So that's the dialogue from that page, which is...
Thanks, Mike. Way to read the room. Can you imagine from the illustration, too, he's talking with his mouth full. Meat bomb. All right, Mike, stop.
So yeah, so this is an original full-color watercolor page.
What is our target?
Our target is $37.50.
All right. So currently, Lord Crusher is leading with $3,600 for everything except the full-color original.
That's right. We have
original.
Oh no, he's got it. He's space bid himself.
Space bid.
We're gonna give Lord Crusher a going once for the space bid.
I feel like maybe he's had his eye on this lot.
I think Lord Crusher's been watching this one.
I think so.
You gotta get that
Oh,
meatball.
but Cephas Hero is not gonna let Lord Crusher get away with it.
Wow.
$37.75 and 63 cents just to annoy people. Currently leading bid.
Chaos. Chaos.
Well, this lot, if this lot doesn't go for 4K, I'm going to be a not happy camper.
What happens if it hits 4K, Ken?
Well, there's something else. There's one more thing in the box.
He just told you what happens. It makes him a happy camper.
Yes, I will be a happy camper.
Take it to 4,000 to make Ken a happy camper.
Then we can reveal the.
But what also happens at 4,000?
They get what's in the box.
What? Should we show
Is
off
it
It's
actually
not alive.
Is it actually a box? Oh, it
It's
is.
actually a box.
What's in the box?
What's
in the bussing box?
What's very confused but very excited.
Should I show?
Yeah, you should show it off.
Okay.
You should tease them with it. Someone's gonna take it to $39.99.
And I can't.
It's a smaller box.
Wait,
Shoes. I need a pair.
Oh no! This is thanks to our good friends at Bag & Shoes here in Victoria, who are like the most awesome purveyors of Converse footwear. Now, people may not know this.
Credit card.
People may not know this, but oh, kitty cat, kitty. Kitty! You're supposed to go meow.
People may not know this, but
People may not know this, but one of the services that Baggins provides. What do you make of this? What do you make of this report? Well, I can make a hat or a pterodactyl. Sorry. They actually print on shoes. So, can you imagine if you had a pair of Converse
What?
that had the covers of War Bears 1 and War Bears 2 printed on the shoes.
I need a third foot.
But wait, exactly. But
Baggins!
and we have the logo on the tongue. That'd be difficult. And the really cool thing is that the right shoe is signed by me.
No.
And the left one is signed by Margaret.
That's amazing.
Okay.
There you go.
If you are desperately curious, they are size
9.
Size 9?
Yep.
Oh, my size. Good.
9.5.
They're 9.5. So you may have to wear socks with them, or not. You may not ever want to wear these.
On you, right?
Sure
don't.
Official Nazi kicking shoes.
Yes.
Here, let's throw
In
those
fact,
up on
by the way, we have the logo and the
this one
byline.
has the Canoodle Comics.
Yep, and this one has Ursinet and the byline on it. Now, full disclosure, there's only one other pair of these in existence, which I wore to the opening, and I'm keeping
Well, that makes sense.
But mine are not signed, so this is the only pair that is actually signed in existence. So there you go. So those go in when we hit 4 grand. And you get the box too. This lovely box with a lovely logo.
We'll show those off.
The
They're over on. There they are. Look at that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
They're so pretty.
That's so cool.
Baggins does great work.
They really
Baggins
do.
just amazing.
I go there every time I'm up here.
Me too. If you find yourself in Victoria, BC, looking for a pair of shoes, Baggins, you can do a lot worse than Baggins shoes.
It's so nice when
Too
a
many
business
shoes.
has soul.
3,000
Can I get another 10, please?
and 75.
Yes, you can. It's probably like on the computer right now.
Is
that's true.
The current leading bid from Cephas Hero, 3,775.
Oh, there we go.
63 cents. And
Okay, but you only get the shoes when it hits 4K.
Yeah,
So
but we gotta get to 4 to get if you want the shoes.
That's
Again,
right,
they are
that's
size men's 9.5.
also,
Right.
size 9.5 lacks a bit of extra context. European size may be preferable. So give us the European size.
What's the? It's on the end of the box, or under the tongue.
Yay! There we go.
Oh, what?
43.
Lord Crusher's got
European
it for
size
4
43.
grand.
But they're in there now because Lord Crusher is taking us to
So
4,000.
Shall we go going once?
Oh yeah, Lord Crushers earned themselves going once for the
Going once.
4,000.
Goes the dynamite.
Holy moly!
Wow.
Holy moly moly!
Woo! No fake bids. What about fake declarations?
What?
Like what?
I'm not a crook.
I can't remember who else was in So I'm just gonna say Lord Crusher going twice.
Yep.
At this point, Graham, there's nothing more to do than sit back and watch these two titans battle it out with generosity.
Yes. And Ken is now a happy camper. So.
Oh right, yes, and the added bonus.
And
Ken is
added
now a
bonus.
happy camper.
Oh, hey.
Zero.
Oh no.
4007
Oh yes.
Goes once.
Yes, yes indeed. $4,007.92 to Cephas
Let's see
Hero.
if we can get up to $4,010. Oh no,
You can't,
$5.
You have to, yeah.
I don't know.
Lord Crusher definitively $4,100.
Let's go once.
Going once to Lord Crusher for
Another fight.
$4,100.
Let's go play Fortnite.
Who was ready for that? There was very little wasted time there. I'm gonna wait to see anything from Cephas Hero in chat.
Alex is flossing? What?
It's a.
Oh, is it a dance move?
That's the correct reaction.
Yes, yes.
We're gonna give Lord Crusher a going twice.
I think we should.
At $4,100.
Yep.
You know, Lord Crusher used to be a Desert Bus volunteer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
DB8, I think, was the last one.
Long time loading ready run fan.
Cool. And correct reaction Steacy. And
All right.
but in a good way.
Cephas Hero has gracefully bowed out, so congratulations, I think, Lord Crusher, unless someone really surprises me.
So do we have have we gone twice?
We've gone, it says right there, we've gone once and twice.
And twice, okay.
So you can take us home.
Should we,
Once?
Once?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah.
Should we do a countdown?
Sure. From when?
100.
Come on.
Cool, I'm just gonna...
I'm just gonna dig it anyway, all right.
90,
Okay.
80, 70, 60, 50.
That's good, okay. 10.
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
2,
1.
So! Well done, Lord Crusher. Thank you. All right. Boom.
Okay, Boomer.
In a good way.
And just like, okay.
Okay.
You're okay, Boomer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I think I'm out of stuff.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Yeah.
Oh, holy moly. Well, Ken, it was a pleasure.
Always. Thank you. Can I put up one more slide?
Sure. Do they have it?
They should. There's one last slide. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hey.
I hate to disappoint people. So if there's anyone who is interested in talking about art, finding out more about the Comics and Graphic Novels program, or is interested in pages from War Bears or Sketch, whatever, I would just be absolutely delighted to.
These for sale.
To get, that's right. I'm a freelancer. So anyway, so please drop me a line at stacy@shaw.ca. And as always, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to everyone here, to the crew here, to all those of you out there in the chat. Words absolutely fail. You are all indefatigable. And
Okay, it's half price the second time. $2.50.
That's a $2.50 word. Great. Okay, so everyone, thanks again. Bus on, and we will see you next year.
Question mark?
Heck yeah.
Question
auction
mark?
coming through.
Oh, auction coming through. There we go. Okay. All right. I do still have a few things.
What?
Really?
Not tonight.
Yeah, no,
Next
I know.
year.
I know
Yes.
they aren't tonight. Oh, before you go,
Yeah.
Oh,
we should draw the winner of the giveaway.
Oh, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, we have
Wait,
that, right?
that was a
Let's
thing
do
that
it.
we did.
Let's find out who
That
won
was a
your
what?
thing.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, I'm frightened.
Come on, big money.
Dr. Dracon!
Yay!
Dr. Dracon, thank you so much.
What did it generate?
Hang on.
$5.
Well, yes, it did generate $5.
Oh, good.
Yay!
It also generated $8,466.
That's crazy talk. In a good way.
Yeah. So thank you, Ken.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
been a good evening.
No, this has been a great evening. Thanks.
evening.
And the beef bourguignon, I'm sure
It's delicious.
I hope
Have
there's
some.
some left.
Oh yeah, I should eat
Can
dinner.
I have a slug of your No, I better not.
You can. I mean,
It
it's
looks horrible. Does it taste as bad as it looks?
no.
Oh.
If I may, just one quick thing.
Yeah.
For either of our live auction winners, if you would like to have your stuff personalized by Ken, please shoot us an email as soon as you can at prizes@desertbus.org. Preferably so we can get Ken to sign everything before he leaves for the night.
Actually,
Or are you leaving for the night right now?
I will be leaving shortly, but I'm going to take most things back and then sign them because I have to have the proper pens and so on. I didn't want to rush it. So that will give you the opportunity to do that.
And
just specify what you'd like.
The giveaway winner, Dr. Drachnon, you will have to get a hold of prizes at desertbus.org so you can so they can put you in touch with Ken so you can discuss what Ken's going to draw.
That's important.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll draw whatever I want.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants
Well, Ken wants that.
Oh, yeah.
Confirm your address in your donor account and send us an email at prizes@desertbus.org.
Thank you. Ken prefers being told what to do because otherwise, it's all about that. This is mine, doubloony.
It is.
What is supposed to happen when I do that?
If the other person doesn't have theirs, then they have to buy you ice cream, I think.
What did? Oh, because Andrew had his. Darn.
Yeah.
Ken,
That was,
may I see your doubloony?
you may. Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you. I got a present for you.
I love presents. Thank you. Ooh. Oh boy.
But I'll have to
so-
leave the stage. But I have a present for you.
Is it
If you could,
2019?
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Mine is a 2018.
We have a new one.
Oh,
Cool.
oh,
Hold
it
your
is
horses.
very cool.
Yeah, which is what Matt's going to get for you right now.
Yay! Aw, thank you. This will go with my. I
Also-
have a little shrine now over my my
Nice.
drawing board.
Also, there's
of all my
a,
desert bus
there's a shirt on the way, but it's not here today.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love the shirts. No ham for Ken.
Don't worry. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait,
Don't
so
worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
Put this in here. Do you want Gilman to hang around, or I could take him home?
I'm worried Gilman might experience
If
some,
we get rambunctious,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Gilman may experience
we will
fear.
take Gilman home. Thank you. This
You're
is
welcome.
The coolest.
Thank
Oh
you.
boy. Doubloon cat.
What on earth?
Now I'm going to be really confused as to which one to pull. What if I pull out both of them? Does that mean the person being challenged has to pull out two?
I don't believe we've actually considered the rules that deeply.
That's a very strange item that you have.
Torso.
I mean, I've only got the one. You know,
Yes!
you know
I get
that.
ice cream! Yes!
You know, I'm not carrying two of these things around every day.
Well, dude, tough noogies, you have to buy me ice cream.
Wait,
Yes.
can you pass me that one on Kevin over there? Great,
I
perfect.
just
There.
owned Graham.
There we go.
I think if he
Oh,
presents
you
you one from
cheated. You
each year,
totally
you got to
cheated.
respond with one from each
You
year.
totally
I'm not
cheated.
carrying them all around.
I was under the impression
Can I interest
that
you
the oldest
instead
one
of-
trumps.
Can I interest you instead in some beef bourguignon?
Yes.
Great.
I
In
will
the
take
other room.
beef with that.
Here, let's go get dinner.
Let's get some dinner. All right. One last time. Okay, thanks
Oh,
everyone.
boy.
Doing a great
Thank
job.
you.
Much appreciated. That all.